right, we got a full show today. We got Joey.
Yo.
Cody.
Yo.
Farrell.
Hey, yo.
And Chris.
If you're nasty.
And I'll be your host today. But look,
that's Bobby Skullface, by the way.
That's true. Know. I'm going to open up with this story from last week that I didn't get to tell because we decided to hold off. So recently, I went into my kid's room. I think she had I think she had cleaned or she had reorganized, and I happened to catch her, and she was like, I just did my such and such. Come on in and take a look. And I was like, okay. So I go in. This is Selena, by the way, and I'm looking at her bookcase and shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, it looks nice. And then this awful, dreadful mess of a stain I see on her carpet of green shit. So and green
not actual poop though.
No. That's why I was trying to refine the color.
It's like Slimer?
Slimer green shit on the
like Slimer just passed through the floor.
Yes, dropped through. So I look down and I'm like, what's that? And then her answer is, oh, that's just candle wax. That's old. Who is this that's saying that? Selena.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
As if that makes it better, right? And I'm like, does mommy know about this? And she's like, yeah, it's old. It's old. We're already past it. And I was like, well, I was never told about it. Now, I can't say with 100% certainty, but I don't think I was told about the candle. So it's not like a lighter fire candle. It's like a candle warmer that sits under a lamp
like
that
a
heats.
Plug-in.
Yes.
Wax melt.
And I don't think I was made aware of it. Maybe I was, but I don't think I was, and I would have vetoed this altogether. But once again, details are sketchy. I'm pretty sure when I saw the stain, I was like, well, we got to get that out of here. We can't have this candle warmer in here. Like, obviously, it's too much, right? So I believe in my head anyway that everyone acknowledged it. Although, in a scary bit of business yesterday, I told Jaina that I saw something from her in a text and swear to God that I saw it. And I can't, she says she never sent it, and I can't find any evidence of it. So I don't know if it was in a dream or what, but like.
He's finally cracked.
Yeah, I'm worried. I am worried. That one worried me. I probably spent 30 minutes last night looking for the evidence.
I mean, you did have a 7-minute nap.
I had a 7-minute nap yesterday.
That's quality work right there, buddy.
The fucking dog interrupted.
No way.
Yep. So anyway, so in my mind, I'm pretty sure I told we got to get rid of this fucking thing, and I'm pretty sure everybody acknowledged it. So I'm sitting down on the couch a couple of days ago, and Selena comes downstairs, or last week comes downstairs and says, "Something has happened," and I'm like, "Well, whatever has happened. What could have happened?" Well, I got candle wax all over the floor again. So I was like, okay. So I go upstairs.
So we're not past this one.
No.
It's brand new.
So this one's in real time, and she has spilt another fucking bunch of this hot fucking
How is she
wax
spilling it?
I have no fucking idea, because the thing. Well,
I would imagine transporting it
No,
in its liquid state is probably part of the problem.
I think
Well,
she said it's
that's-
because there's a cable and she keeps kicking the cable and then it jolts it.
well, now it's another huge fucking mess.
What's the SDS look like on this?
SDS?
Safety data sheet? Have you guys checked?
MBS.
But it's a fucking nightmare. So I'm pissed. So I'm like, this is getting the fuck out of here right now, and I'm going to be the one to do it. So I unplug it. But in my head, I don't know how this thing works. I've never really looked at it. But in my head, it was all together a bit more solid.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm walking, and I'm angry. So I'm moving my body while I'm walking.
My body.
As I get to the peak of the steps, the candle falls off of the light, hits the crest of the first step, flips in the air, spraying a whirlwind of hot wax all over my walls, carpet, railing, banister, family photos, my clothes, the whole bit. And I just
What the fuck?
Who stores their clothes on the steps?
You live your life, buddy, okay?
And I just looked, I couldn't even muster a word. I felt like the father in A Christmas Story when the glue shattered on the broken leg lamp. Like that's how I just looked at her. Like, look what has happened. just acknowledge what has happened. And I went downstairs. And then we ended up having nerve rage. And I was like, if I were you guys, I would spend the rest of the day cleaning it up.
Yeah. I walked in and everyone looks upset. And I'm like,
Oh, and I said,
they were on the stairs, like scrubbing. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
And I said, let's go to the basement. I can't bear to look at this.
Yes.
Yeah, and I got the avert your eyes.
Yeah,
I had no idea what was happening.
Well, I had no idea either. I guess it's all for the best. I'm trying to think of, like, that's really fucked up. But like, I'm trying to think of a situation I've been in where I'm trying to like remedy a situation, and it just, I'll tell you one. So I was doing laundry. My wife's still recovering, and she has this. She has the spinal implant stimulator, right? Well, it has a magnetic battery pack you charge, and then it magnetically attaches to her battery.
Sure.
She charges it. So I did laundry yesterday and go to take it out and put it in the dryer, and there's this little half moon shaped disc that says not to get it wet, so I
threw it in the dryer.
Honestly, I laid it on the railing, and Kelly was taking a nap, so I went downstairs and got back to work and forgot about it, came back up, didn't see it. I saw it last night. She had put it on the charger, and I told her that. She's like, maybe that's why it's not charging. And I'm thinking to myself, this battery probably costs like $12,000 or something. So what I'm thinking about doing is getting a lawnmower battery and a voltmeter. Come here, honey. Hold still. It might tingle a little bit. Alabama! Definitely. That's some redneck ingenuity right there.
But I was going to open up to the floor if anybody had a story about some shit that they really fucked up as a kid. Like,
bro, I fucked up the carpet. I was like 12 or some shit, and I was... So my parents, when they didn't want me to have shit, this was before military boarding school. One of the many things that leads me to military boarding school. Mm-hmm. So they don't want me to fuck around with shit, and they would hide it. But our house is only so big,
right?
So I find it. So
like what are you fucking around with?
Well, it was like I had a Sega Genesis at one point they were hiding, but they bought me a box set of 40K, my very first box set of 40K, and I insisted on painting it and all that good stuff, and they're like, nope. And they were only under adult supervision, but the adults in my life are never home. So, so I know where it is. So I brought it out, and I was painting it in the kitchen, and then I heard a garage door open in the middle of the day for no reason, because my parents don't get home till after 7 or 9, and it was like 5. And then I grabbed everything on the table, and I tried to run upstairs with it to put it back in the closet.
Wasn't sealed, was it?
Chaos black, never forget. All the way down the main hallway. Like as soon as you walk into the house, it's like a small house, the little hallway, and then to the kitchen where I was sitting. So all down the hallway and all up the stairs was just drips of fucking chaos black.
And it's 100 times worse because they told you not to fuck with it.
They told me not to fuck with it. They hid it, not knowing that I know where it is. I brought it out and fucked with it. I tried to run away and hide with it.
How old were you?
11 or 12, some shit like that.
What was their reaction?
Bro.
Chaos.
Yeah. You ever wonder why Joey's so short? That's why.
Oh my God. Imagine the wax with black paint and then all the way down the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never got that way. Eventually, we got hardwood floor, some kind of floor replacement.
Yeah.
Over the carpet. And then I knew then that carpet was not a good idea.
I can't think of anything personally, but I have 2 from my children.
Yeah.
And they both involve my daughter, who once in her room when we lived in Alabama. Alabama! Painted her room with poop.
Oh my God.
And then like 6 months later, she drew all over everything with a Sharpie. And then about 6 months later, she had an encore of the poop presentation.
Oh, wow. Very DJ.
And she also swallowed a penny.
Why?
My brother did that.
Do you know how you clean a penny? Run it through somebody's fucking body. It's the shiniest penny I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Wow.
When I was in school, when I was 8, I put a magnet on an old...
Move your hand further up the shaft of that bad boy.
Closer to the head.
Don't tickle the balls.
Yeah, there you
Is that
go.
bad?
No. Let's try it again. Can
you hear me?
Oh, it was fine. Now it doesn't...
It was working fine just a second ago. Just talking to...
I'll tell you what. Let me try...
maybe
talking
do
to Joey
hold.
while he does that.
Let me try this one.
Maybe the hole's dirty.
No, I'm pretty sure it's this.
Here, try again.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have to hold that, I think.
I just won't touch it.
Yeah.
There you
All
go.
good?
So, what happened?
What was I saying? Oh, yeah.
School.
When I was about 8, I think, in like whatever we call it, primary school. What do you call it?
Elementary.
Yeah, elementary. Yeah. So we're all fucking about. And it's the school's fault. I'm going to put that out there.
Of course.
Yeah, so they had a box of magnets above where we used to have the old PC monitors, you know, like the old big fat screens. So apparently if you put a magnet on it, it destroys the screen. And I found that out. And the teacher was super mad at me. But then when my mum came into school, I thought I was going to get like pretty told off. But she actually ended up having a go at the teacher because she said, well, you should have magnets near the screens with kids. So I was like, yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have got that treatment, I can tell you.
So,
the screen's turning green and shit, right?
all of the pixels, I think, just sort of moved to magnet. I think I don't know.
It's just got magnetized to one side.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody's got to get really close to it now.
But I never really fucked up too much.
What about you?
I like cracked the foundation of my house.
The foundation. Not even Jesus Christ.
In the basement. I mean, it wasn't crazy.
Sounds crazy.
I know.
My stepdad had like one of those like nail drivers that have like the little like blank 22.
Yeah. You had to fire it like you would put a nail into the ground of it.
Right. So I was hitting those with a hammer.
Because
I don't know, I was like 10. Like blowing up and like shooting like bits of concrete like into my skin. So they weren't happy about that, but like,
yeah.
I just had another memory. I remember we lived up in Tennessee at one point, and I was taking a shower in my parents' bathroom for some reason, and I dropped like a bottle of shampoo, and it boom. The tub just created a hole right there. Like it was a fiberglass tub, and it just, for some reason I just must have dropped it perfectly flat, and it bloop. And I was like, I remember just being so fucking frightened, like, oh my god, what? There's no, it's not like I can put a poster over it. I can't cover it up. There's no Andy Dufresne here to do.
Shawshank.
Just slap it. The thing, do you fix it?
You can do it with ramen, can't you? I've seen that.
Ramen.
Well, as an 8-year-old, it didn't quite have the wherewithal to do anything other than telling myself, and it was not a big deal.
You didn't order flex tape?
Yeah, is that what it is?
By the way,
shit that you slap over the water tank and it's fine?
That shit don't work great. Actually, I used the last of my flex tape to patch up my rickety pop-up tent I paint under because I was trying to clean it off with a snow shovel and tore it.
Oh, wow.
$60 investment there.
I don't really remember anything that I did like that really fucked some shit up.
That surprises me.
Yeah, I don't like offhand. I'm sure there's something, but I do remember my brothers one time fucked some shit up. There was a thing of Kool-Aid, like a glass of Kool-Aid, and my brother Ben was like flailing about being a fucking doof. He's still a fucking doof. And kicked the fucking Kool-Aid, and the Kool-Aid like went all over, like splattered all over the carpet, like you blew somebody's brains out, like all over this carpet. And then he's like, "Well, I'm gonna clean it," and he like went and got this like cleaning agent. Me and my other brother Tug are laughing. He went and I think so. My brother Tug went and got a golf club, and he's a bit of a sociopath. My brother Tug, and
yeah, it doesn't sound like the best cleaning device.
Yeah, so he got a golf club, and he came in. It was like in
insane.
He came in and the because the cup that Ben had kicked was still sitting on the carpet and still had Kool-Aid in it. And he came in and hit the fucking cup with the golf club to like just really fuck it up.
That'll fix it.
So Ben's like,
oh my God.
What the fuck? And Ben's like spraying this cleaning agent like all over like these spots, like trying to spot him up. And now he's got all this more, and he's like going around crazy. He's like, my brother's name was Richard, but so he's like, Richard, you're gonna get me in more trouble, Richard. And my brother's just like, he's kicking the cup around the fucking room. Laura, I'm laughing. Laura is horrified, right? And I'm in hysterics. So anyway, my stepfather and my mother come through the door getting off work, and they're like, what the fuck? And it's like, well, I kicked the cup, but Richard hit it with the fucking, fucking golf club, and blah, blah. And Tug's like, no, like,
it doesn't even sound like
sounds crazy.
As he's holding a golf club.
and then they're sitting there like, and my stepfather's like, what is that? He's like, I'm trying to clean it. He's like, Ben, it's bleach. And then like we start looking around the room and like all of the carpet spots are like fading to white, like all everywhere. And
well, you just spray all of it. It's fine.
And I'll never forget my stepfather just looked down at it and just said, "I raised a bunch of fucking idiots," and like went away.
What are you gonna do about it at that point? That's great.
Carpet is not a good idea.
That makes me remember. I was out of high school. I was probably 19 or 20, and my parents were out of town. And they were going to be back in the morning. I remember that. And a bunch of my buddies, I had a key outside of the house, and most of my buddies knew where it was. They like toilet papered and silly string the entire fucking house. And I got home like 3 o'clock or something. My parents were home like 8.
Wow.
So I spent hours. And the thing about that silly string, if you've ever fucking sprayed it on a wall, it leaves a little grease mark. So I found something and I was able to get it all cleaned up. But I whooped my buddy's ass next time I saw him. I just drug him out of his truck and started pounding on him.
I remember.
Like, what's wrong? I said, a goddamn silly string.
When I was a kid, I had this. I picked up this rock and I was going to throw it at this other kid. It was a big fucking rock. It seemed big at the time anyway. I was a kid. But I threw it, and, I'm not the most athletic person in the world. He easily dodged it, and it hit this headlight of this car and blew the headlight, to smithereens, right? And I was like, fuck. And I was like, look, just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up about it, And he was like, no, I'm telling my mom. And I was like, you don't. I'm chasing him, but once again, I'm athletic. I'm not going to catch him. So he gets home, and I was like, fuck. So I like didn't know what to do, and I just went inside my house, and I was like, maybe if I'm out of sight, out of mind, Anyway, ding dong, fucking here's this kid's mom, the guy who owns the fucking car, blah blah blah, and they're having a conversation with my dad, and my dad was like, why didn't you say anything about it? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm scared, and blah blah blah. And he was like, look, anytime you do anything, you got to be accountable for it. You got to be accountable for it. You fucked it up. You got to own it. Secondly, you can't trust any fucking body. Like these are not your fucking friends. You think they're your friends, they will fucking rat on you at the fucking drop of, like that's how my dad like approached the whole thing. So I think because of that, because he was halfway disappointed that I couldn't count on my friend and halfway disappointed in me, they kind of like ended up canceling each other out a little bit.
Just fine.
I got away with it pretty smoothly.
But I had a girl with a rock. Bro, this is the first time I knew what it felt like to be like innocent until proven guilty or whatever that anguish is.
Yeah.
Because I was known as a troubled kid. I was a troublemaker. So I always did dumb shit. But we were in PE and we had to like walk the track or whatever the fuck. And I just took a rock and I fucking threw it. And it somehow hit a girl in her back. Left a big fucking welt. Like it was a rock. And I didn't mean to. I was just throwing rocks, but they were like, "How dare you fucking hit a girl with a rock?" And I'm like, I swear, it was a freak accident, and they wouldn't believe me because I had a reputation.
Yeah.
So like, bro,
I was in the lunch line.
I was like, might as well be a fuck up then. If I'm gonna be seen as a fuck up anyway.
I was in the lunch line one time, and it was my crew. It was me, this guy Dot, Lem, Lloyd, and Dwayne McTaggart. Dwayne McTaggart is the dude that I got the feet from. Because he was light. We were in this assembly. When I do these reviews and shit, whenever I go to the feet, Pharaoh, I always say feet. And people are like, why do you always say, some people, especially from foreign lands, would be like, why do feet in monster voice? But like, I do it because I was in this assembly for like prom. It was like a prom promise, but not the sex one. It was like the don't drink and drive one. And my guys who I ran with were like kind of troublemaker guys, and this girl was in front of us. He kept trying to light her hair on fire, right? So like with a lighter.
Oh my God. Are these guys from the world?
Some of them, not all.
Jesus.
To be fair, so
world adjacent.
World adjacent.
It's kind of like there's the Wu-Tang and then there's the Wu-Tang affiliates. They're like the Killer Bees and all that shit.
So this girl moved. And then we were kind of like left to our own devices. We didn't have anybody to mess with. And there was this woman got up there. And I mean, now at 43, obviously, it's like fucking shameful and everything. But I mean, when I was 16, it was fucking hysterical. And this woman got up there and she was talking about her father who was killed by a drunk driver leaving prom, right? And she's like crying on fucking stage. And she has this like...
Wait, her father was... at the prom also?
No.
He got murdered at the prom. They just kept on going, kind of like when Owen Hart fell from the ceiling and died. WWE just kept going.
I saw that shit.
Yeah.
So the fucking they got pictures of the car accident behind her, like on this big screen, you know, all this stuff, pictures of the family all together, like holding each other, like prior, you know what I mean? Like, and then they showed like a picture of these 2 feet with a toe tag on it, like really up close. And my buddy, McTaggart, was like, like as loud as he could. We ended up getting thrown out of that fucking thing. But anyway, we were all in line at the lunch line, and this dude, Lloyd, just opened up. There was a hot potatoes. They were sitting there, like wrapped in tinfoil. And he just picked one up and unwrapped the tinfoil and just chucked it.
The potato?
And then you just hear this girl from the other end go, "Hey, bird!" This fucking hot potato, it like hit her square in the fucking face. There's a fucking hot potato mash like all over.
Hot potato.
And it sticks and it's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And,
napalm.
The vice.
Napalm potatoes. We're going to fill this hot potato with hot glue and then throw it at people.
Was it buttered? Or?
No. Napalm potato. So he came out, and the vice principal came in and was like, "Who did it?" And the lunch lady was like, "I gotta be honest, I didn't see it, but I'm sure it was one of them." And she was right, you know. Still, it's fucked up. You know
it's fucked up.
Don't judge, you know,
because only one of you did it.
When I was in high school, this is a multi-layered story. We had this. You know how, I don't know, where I went to high school, like you had like 3 or 4 substitutes that would seem to be it. You always had these same people. So we had Miss Lil, and everybody called her
Lil Kim?
No, definitely not. Everybody called her Big Bird because she she talks like this, and she had a pointy nose, and she had like a little kind of like gray little old lady afro haircut,
and she was yellow.
Well, she wasn't. And her daughter, the rumor about her daughter was her daughter had given somebody a blowjob and had thrown up on them after. So
hot.
I don't know if that was true or not. Yeah, right.
Hey, man.
So and
had that happen.
I want to say this was like,
especially if the stomach was full of hot potato.
There you go. Oh, God.
Extra warm, extra lube, man.
The potato's extra hot afterwards. Might want the clarified butter for that one. So I'm in my AP. It was an English class. I was thinking
advanced placement. Yes.
Yeah.
Which,
dude,
in Alabama.
Well, you know, thinking back on it, the fact that I missed out on getting an advanced diploma from a high school in Alabama has probably really limited my upward mobility. So I was in like 2 AP class. I was in this AP class, and my teacher actually was running for state senate.
What the fuck?
She's actually in prison right now because of...
Oh, my God.
She may be out. She went to prison for some misappropriation. What's crazy is I had known this lady basically my whole life. Like, her kids were in Boy Scouts with me, and, like, we would hang out with them. And
you're like, Miss Gregory, when'd you get out?
Yeah. Well, anyways, so saying all that to say, at the time, she wasn't there much. She was up, you know, doing whatever you do with your So Miss Lil had kind of become like our kind of half-ass permanent substitute.
Big Bird.
So, and this was sometime after Christmas break, but in the fall that year, we had a homecoming parade, and, you know, people, all the different classes make floats and all that shit. Yeah. And I want to say this, I was a senior. I think the sophomores had made a paper mache tiger that for some fucking reason was in our room and had been in there the whole time. Well, it was up against the wall. I sat right next to it, and I pretty much every day put my fucking feet up on it, just, you know, stretch my legs out. Something had happened in the room, and it had been chaos, and she was like, the next person that does something is going to the office. I put my feet on that tiger, go to the office. So I go to the office, and Mr. Jacobs was the assistant principal. I'm like, hey, Jacobs. He's like, why are you here? I said, I put my feet on a paper mache tiger, and Miss Lil sent me up here. He's like, since she sent you up here, I'll tell you how long ago this was. It's 2 days or 2 licks.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how many to get to the center of
So if you could get to the Tootsie Roll center of the Tootsie Pop in 2 licks, that you didn't have to. No,
Can you give me your number?
It was 2 licks with a paddle. So I called my dad and I said, hey, I told him what happened. He said, it's 2 licks or 2 days. He's like, just take the licks.
Damn.
Fine. So I took my licks, went back in the room, and just mean mugged her the rest of the fucking time.
Damn.
I gave her shit every fucking
I never got hit at school.
It was very normal. Like I
got
paddled
several times.
It was very. It's like,
I mean,
normal.
not like
every school policy.
Yeah, it was
To hit kids
at one point.
I don't know.
It wasn't.
I think it might still be.
It isn't anymore.
No, it's definitely
no, not here, but I have to check.
That's
Asian where I came from.
If you're listening and you went to high school in the 90s or 2000s, let us know if
I think it's definitely not in America.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I just want to know when that stopped and like where you lived.
Well, at Farrell School, they gave different licks.
That's true.
Farrell, where did you go to school?
I went to Catholic school.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a priest?
So we didn't really have priests.
Cream center.
Right. So we had nuns in elementary school.
Yeah, one nun.
Right.
And the answer to that question is none your business. You know what I mean?
And they were more ruthless than the brothers. So
I believe others.
They break rulers over your hands.
I've always heard about
specialized rulers. It wasn't. They were like acrylic. They were like literally like half inch, an inch thick acrylic, foot long in Hong Kong.
And then in high school, we had, because it was a Jesuit school, so we had brothers.
Yeah.
And
where did they hit you?
Huh?
Where did they hit you? Where did they hit you?
Paddle
in America
on the backside.
They take your pants down?
Did they put you over the knee?
Yeah.
I was requested to drop my pants until you get a paddle.
What? At how old?
Probably in
Alabama.
Probably middle school.
That's insane.
Too old. We didn't hit it. We got.
I got it in high school.
We got our hands, like our fingers bent back, and they hit us on the inner knuckles.
Yeah, see, they're not going to.
That's
do that.
fucked up.
It's fucked up all the way around. I remember I got a paddling one time because me and my buddy were throwing erasers at each other in class, and his mom came up and made a stink, and he didn't get a paddling. He took the suspension.
Hey, we all grew up just fine. They should stop hitting kids again.
Rulers across the the tops of the hands, and then we got there's one teacher that used to like almost like palm strike you, like in the chest.
Chops!
Just like bullying kids.
Did she go after she did that? Did she go woo?
It was a dude. It was a dude, and he had the longest pinky nail.
Oh, hey, yo, party time over here.
Which side of the ruler did they use? Like that, or like
the chopping?
Flat.
No, the flat.
So,
okay.
so
They
Cody,
chop you.
how were you beaten in school when in England? Is that something they did?
I think I bypassed it. But my granddad did. He used to get he got caught smoking in school, and they gave him like I think it was 5 lashes.
Was he like,
which was
5
like,
lashes?
with like a.
Was that like 6th grade? He got caught smoking.
I don't know.
Okay.
Lashes
he was
with
fairly
like a
young.
whip.
But yeah, or like a like a bit of leather. I guess.
My freshman year of high school, they
That's
had
wild.
My freshman
Probably
year of
like
high
a
school,
belt.
they had a smoking court at school.
Yeah.
You could go outside and smoke.
We never had one.
It was gone by the time I graduated.
Cody, as a guest, how was your nerd week?
Well, whenever I visit, same as always, long travel.
Yeah, did you watch some movies in your travel?
Oh yeah, like you do. Sometimes I watch films just for the conversation on here. So the first movie I watched was Despicable Me 4. Despicable Me 4
of them now?
Yeah.
Oh, they make so much money off this
There's
movie.
like a separate Despicable Me and Minions are
Minions,
two
it's
different
a
things, even though they're the same
spin-off.
thing.
Yeah.
I was saying it's pretty pointless. It's just the same. But
But it made
I was-
hundreds of
I was
millions of
playing
dollars.
games. I was playing a game, so I didn't want anything. I just wanted something to listen to in the background. So for some reason, little yellow guy shouting was what I wanted.
That's me.
I was trying to figure out that joke in my head, but I was like, "How can I?"
Just wait for Joe to make it.
That's fine. Yeah, that's the best thing.
Hang on, I've got a list.
Oh, he's got
yeah.
a list.
There we
Look
go.
at this guy.
Norwich veterans.
So then I watched The Wild Robot, which
The Wild Robot.
which
been
almost
wanting to
made
see
me
that.
cry near the end. So that was good.
Okay.
Wait,
But it was really good.
is it new?
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people, Laura and them.
it came out the same time as Transformers, and
Yeah.
most of the thought was it came out the week after, and that's kind of what killed it at the box office. 'cause
Yeah.
it was
That's the only
Two
reason
robot movies?
another robot movie.
That's why
yeah.
I didn't go to the movies to see it, because I couldn't bother to pay again. I was like, "I'll wait." But I watched it. It was good. It was really good.
And it was
But it's quite emotional. But
It was a robot movie that had that cast a wider net. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like a family fun.
Yeah, it didn't
it had
have the I don't know the restrictions that not trade restrictions. If people know what Transformers are, like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
this
yeah.
looks cool. I don't know what this
Right.
is.
one of the voice actors for the Beaver in it was Matt Berry. You know, from What We Do. in the
Matt
Shadows.
Berry.
Yeah, so
Matt Berry's fantastic.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
So
like
that was
beavers.
good.
All right.
Then I watched.
Is it all robots?
No. It's one. He looks like what's the robot in the Studio Ghibli thing? The tall, lanky thing with like.
From Lapida? The really tall gray guy with
really
the
long
floppy
arms.
hands?
Yeah,
I
it
love
looks
that
like
guy.
that.
That guy makes me cry.
Yeah, it looks like it's based.
I
on
love
that.
those guys.
Yeah, Yeah, that was good. And then I watched Dumb and Dumber just because it's easy.
The first one?
Yeah. I watched it for a little while and had that in the background.
There's 3 of those.
So what
right?
you're saying is...
Yeah. There's still a chance.
Yeah. So there's the 2, and then they did
Dumb,
they did a prequel.
Yeah, which wasn't them, wasn't it?
No, it was younger people. I don't remember
Never
who.
seen that.
I've honestly never seen anything but the
That was Dumb and Dumber, wasn't it?
That's what the car.
When it,
They had a truck with a dog truck, right? That's furry.
yeah.
Because
there's a
like,
dog
oh,
groomer.
how gross is that fucking thing after the rain?
Oh, yeah.
or think about like this weather.
Is it Mutt Cuts or something?
Mutt Cuts. That was it. The gas man.
I like that bit in it where he's on about, when they go find Mary Swanson and he tries to impress her about the dog breed. Mm-hmm. And he's like, we crossed a pit bull and a shih tzu together. And she's like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, you called it a bullshit. And he just laughs at his own joke. She's like, oh. Then I watched Beetlejuice 2 or whatever it's called.
I still haven't seen that one. I'm on the fence. I was excited for it, and then like the reception was lukewarm. Maybe
it's mid.
Yeah,
so my wife's a huge Beetlejuice fan, but she has no interest in seeing the sequel.
Yeah,
she's like, I just wanted that to be what it was and have that memory. And she's like, I don't want to put anything else with it because I like the way it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in like long-term sequels like that when they have the original cast, which they do. So
yeah,
I'm just like,
I'm sure I'll watch it on an airplane or something at some point.
What'd you say?
We only have one more saying the name.
Yeah, I know, and I so like that's actually a kick in the teeth for me because I don't think you'll see a third one, and I think that it's important to have a third one because of the names.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was mid. It was just
was
it's carried away, and it's not focused at all.
Not us.
The only thing that's cool about it is you get Beetlejuice's origin story, and his origin story is cool.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's just it's fine.
Yeah, it's mid.
Yeah, because there was like loads of stuff going on at once. Like they've got like this. I guess she's meant to be like the main sort of villain thing, but they don't really focus on her. Well, from what I watch, she kind of just floating around. Have you played Resident Evil? You know,
I love Resident Evil.
You know the remake with is it what's his name? The big fucking dude in the suit.
Nemesis?
No, not Nemesis. The other one, Mr. Something, isn't it?
Mr. X.
Yeah, you know how he just follows you around in the game, and you see him every now and then. That's what the sort of villain's kind of like. She's just walking around, and every now and then you're like, oh, there she is, and then she fucks off again. And then I watched Transformers 1 or 3/4 of it, and then the plane landed just because. I've already seen it.
I was going to say, do you mean tell you how it ends? You'll never guess.
Yeah, no, it was great. I see that at the movies.
I'll actually watch that again at some point.
Like, that movie's fucking good, man.
Yeah,
casually put it on.
Did you see that it's streaming in like top 10 like
on Paramount?
No, period.
Oh, you mean
like
really?
it's like in the top 10 most streamed thing right now.
I should put it on just
and
to like bump his numbers.
Supposedly it has reactivated that's a poor choice of words given what's been going on with Hasbro recently, but it has re-inspired the idea,
reignited the idea,
of perhaps looking back into it for a sequel.
Nice.
Yeah. Or at least a TV show or something.
Yeah.
Do aeroplane movie views count into streaming?
That's a good question.
They have a deal. They have a deal, right?
yeah,
They have to have a deal to get the license.
I watched a
plate.
video
100%.
on how all that works, and it is mind-boggling how much work goes into getting movies for airplanes. Like there's teams of people that because they have to if they get the movies, then they have to like chop them up sometimes and make them fit the screen, or they'll edit like if Delta says we don't want nudity,
Right.
Which
I'd
apparently
imagine
don't care. Some of the things I've seen on there, but you don't want to be sitting there. You don't want to be watching Showgirls, and there's a fucking 3-year-old sitting next to you just watching.
Teach them young.
I know, right?
Is there any aeroplane like accident films on there? Do you think?
Oh, that's a good question.
9/11 documentary.
Snakes on a Plane was on there? That'd be great. I have to look that up. I got a trip coming up, so I'll have to check that out.
They do. I remember seeing Alive on there once with like their plane crash where they like the people have to eat each other on the snowy mountain.
Alive?
Yeah. I think I remember seeing that. Do you remember when planes didn't have screens in the back of the seat and you have one big fucking projector in the front and everyone watched had to watch the same thing?
Yeah.
That wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
Like you just sitting there with nothing, just blank raw dogging, as they would say, the flight until they decide to put something on.
If they decided to put something.
Exactly. If they just
Let
hoping.
me make sure there's still plenty of planes that have none of that shit because I seem to find them.
Yeah.
Or the small ones at least.
Yeah, the little regional jets.
Anything else, Cody?
I can't really think of anything in life that's interesting.
How's a tattoo business?
Tattoo business is actually
Hang on.
not a
There you go.
You dingled your dongle there.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yep.
I haven't got a stand, so I have to move my hand every now and then.
That's true. So Cody doesn't have a mic stand, so he's holding it
And
like
he's holding like an old fucking mic I dug up.
Yeah, he's holding it like Slim Shady in fucking 8 Mile. So
Choking.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, business is pretty.
Keep going.
It's been weird. It's like up and down. Just like the volume on this mic.
Yeah. Why has it been up and down, you think?
I think it's just the economy. Just people haven't got the spare money. Like all bills going up. People's like anyone with a mortgage.
Wait a minute, hold on. There's inflation outside of America?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Things happen in the world.
I didn't know that. Well, I just say that to say it seems like everybody talks about things that are happening here like they're not happening everywhere.
Right.
Like, our president or whatever was the reason why we have inflation in America. I'm like, well, it's everywhere.
I feel like I see more of your news than ours in the UK.
I apologize about that because I don't like watching. I don't see much about y'all's.
Everyone watches the show.
Yeah, it's a hot subject.
It's especially this week. I'd imagine it's pretty hot subject.
Everyone wants to see a good circus. Yeah,
I'm surprised they let you come in the country on Monday after the inauguration. I'm surprised you didn't. Well, maybe that's why it took so long for you to get through.
Yeah. Through I almost cancelled my trip when I heard that you guys were going to ban TikTok. So I was like,
they did for like 3 hours.
So if you don't have it on your phone, you can't get it. It's not on any of the app stores.
Oh, really?
But they said thanks to Trump, it's back on. So
people are reselling. Phones that
for like thousands of dollars.
That's crazy.
It's Flappy Bird all over again. Do you remember that?
I mean, I'm because I'm not in it. Just watching from the outside, it's just mind-boggling and hilarious and sad. So I'm seeing the reaction of the videos of people who are fucking devastated. It was offline.
Yeah. So I will tell you that there's evidence that points to Meta is now holding the servers for those.
Well, the guy who wrote
because that's what it was down for 12 hours, and that's about how long it takes to swap servers.
Then the guy who wrote the bill to ban TikTok immediately invested hundreds of $1 million into Meta.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm pretty sure that's actually a thing.
I don't give a zuck about that. Okay,
I don't give. I don't care. Mixed feelings on the topic
because top fade in a chain doesn't make you cool, bro.
Yeah. I'm all about not censorship and freedom of speech and platform, whatever. But seeing the effects it has on people is just rough to see how society handles shit like this. The way you're acting is why people want to take it away from you.
I agree,
but they shouldn't take it away from you.
I also agree.
Yeah, so I have mixed feelings on that.
Yeah.
So did you guys hear about Red Note? Red Note is another Chinese similar to TikTok that people flocked to. I downloaded it just to see what it was about, and honestly,
headphones not working.
No, it's fine.
If you go to my office,
no, it's I can hear the.
What kind of operation are we running?
I know. I don't have the logistics to handle 5 people properly, so to speak.
That's what I heard.
Not many people do.
But anyways, I downloaded it, and it was apparently a lot of people were making connections with Chinese people, and I mean, the government obviously. Fuck all that, but it's just people being people. Doing
it's not the
shit.
people, it's
right?
Yeah,
but there was
not the people.
It's people teaching people Chinese on there and stuff, and
it's how to get you. It's how to brainwash.
I know.
It's a long game.
I know, but there was a big, a bunch of memes. It's I don't remember the particular meme, but basically there was banning TikTok causes the red invasion, and or whatever because everybody's going to this specific the app's not even in English. You have to go into some backdoor settings to find where you can make it in English.
Funny, the moment it happened, I was like, oh man, work is going to be so much cooler when I go back to work because people are going to be engaging in more conversation actively.
No,
but they'd already kind of fixed it by the time I got
were just depressed.
And also, you just find a new platform.
Those 12 hours. Yeah, it just goes
Sky or
people are always hitting me up hey, join
Lemon 8.
Yeah. Join this, join that. I'm like, look, I'm trying to join less. I'm trying to get rid of the shit I got. I'm not joining anything more. I'm not getting on Red Notes. I'm not getting on. I don't have a TikTok. I'm not getting on. I don't even have a Snap. I'm not getting on fucking. I'm not getting on fucking. What the fuck did you? Blue skies, gray skies, red skies. I'm not.
It sounds like you need a media team.
That's what that
let somebody
makes jobs
that for
that you have media coordinators for that.
Yeah, but I can't. I'm not hiring those.
Yeah, my
Cody, where in London are you from? Or England?
From out.
I think it's this way.
London, Essex.
Essex. Okay.
Yeah.
Essex.
Not Sussex.
Right by up 695.
Yeah.
Pizza John's, eh?
I met somebody locally that said they were from Pasadena. And I'm like, why are you here? Pasadena. I had no idea there was a Pasadena, Maryland.
Yeah, that's just their way of screaming, I don't live in Glen Burnie.
Yeah.
So I regularly come across this Instagram channel that's all the chicks leaving the Liverpool clubs.
Okay.
And God damn it, I want to go there so bad.
Oh yeah, Liverpool's
fun. They're perfect.
Ain't nothing but ain't nothing but an airplane. They probably think you were cute the way you talk.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, they're known as Scousers. The Liverpudlians.
Well, let's work in reverse, so to speak. Joey, how was your nerd week?
Oh, fucking finished Dexter.
Nice.
How did you like it?
All the seasons?
All 8 seasons.
Okay.
Holy shit, bro. That's awesome.
And what did you think of the final?
Okay.
Hard to close.
No, it's no. What is it? Oh, I always pride myself as a good face recognizer. I don't know people's names. But I know if I've seen you.
It's like on your like applications.
Super recognizer is actually a thing.
Good face recognizer.
People get hired for that.
I remember faces.
Right? No, but super recognizer is the actual category of people.
Hey, I recognize that was Daniel Day-Lewis in that Abraham Lincoln quote on the bullshit training we had at work.
A category of people, he says. We'll have to like fucking make sure we have one of those on every show now.
No, I think they hired them for something in the police department or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
But like there's a test you can take.
You remember police used to hire psychics? I'm not sure if they still do it. Like,
back in the 80s, we had a psychic helping us find his lost kid. It was a normal.
And people were just like, well, it makes sense.
They're trying everything. They're giving it their all.
I hate us sometimes.
But Hannah looks familiar to me, and I'm like, but that can't be, because she reminds me of a video game character, Miranda Lawson from Mass Effect. And then I looked it up, and it's her.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, it's a girl who they modeled after, but the graphics weren't great 15 years ago, so it like looks kind of like her, but I still recognize it.
They were good enough, you know what I mean?
Good enough for me to recognize this bitch.
Yvonne
Yeah, she's hot.
Strahovski.
Yeah.
Never heard of
But it was just also like perplexes me, because I never thought Miranda was hot in Mass Effect 3. She was like bottom choice for me.
I believe that's a company that makes crystal ornaments.
So you were okay with the ending?
It didn't make sense.
In the time, I thought it was one of the worst endings.
I didn't think it was the worst. It just
he just got on a boat and drove away.
Yes, he was devastated, but like it made sense, but not made sense. It's like after you win, then you give up. Kind of.
Yeah.
I think it had to dangle a certain way. No, it's this thing. I think you have to hold it together or some shit like that.
What kind of fucking janky ass mic?
It's really old.
Yeah, let me check.
This was from
check.
Yeah. Check. This was from Nerd Rage 1.5 or 1.0.
Professionalism.
Yeah.
And we're at Nerd Rage like 4.0 at this point.
Check.
Yeah, I think 4.0. 4.
Yeah, that was from 1.5.
It was 3. Then it was.
There's a lot.
It was 2. Then it was 3. Then it was.
You might have to just
4, then
jump on
3,
Joe's
then
mic or something, Cody.
Hey yo,
So to speak.
You guys may just want to share mics.
Yeah.
And
Just like the old days.
Yeah. Sorry about that, listeners.
but no, I didn't hate it, but I mean towards the whole last season, it was all chaotic and all just like bad decisions, so it wasn't out of the blue for me.
We'll just do this and then turn it when
Okay, it wasn't out of the blue for me that he just fucking made more bad choices, more random choices.
Yeah, like in the Deb thing, like she just gave up on it so fast.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, I'm going back years because
so she died. I mean, she didn't die. She had like she got shot, was fine, but then she had a stroke, and they're like, she's gonna be a vegetable.
Yeah, but it was before that. I don't know. It's hard to remember all the way back to the details. I just remember hating that entire closure of the Dexter Deb story.
Oh yeah. I mean,
so
like watching it all in a row. I guess.
Do we just want to pause for a second?
No, we don't.
It's too late to invest it.
We're talking.
Yeah. But no, it could have been better. Like I didn't need it to be a good ending. I didn't need him because like by the end, I didn't think he deserves it. Like he you know that people in life, you watch them drive themselves in the corner.
Right.
You see that they have potential. You see people trying to help them. You try to help them, but you see that they make all the wrong decisions anyway and drive them in the corner. And at that point, I'm like, I hope you fail.
I think that it would have been a better ending to just kill him.
That too. But well, that would take away the possibility of sequels, which we have now,
which are not very good.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop it from existing.
Right.
Always
try that, Cody.
Is this working?
Oh, yeah, I know.
You had a mic the whole time.
Yeah. That's super old school right there.
Yeah, sorry. Yep. Okay, so...
But I said, what did I say?
Dexter.
Yeah, season 8 was like... It's good drama, I guess, for what it is, but like it just got frustrating. The whole season 8 was like frustrating for me. The more I did get more of the story though throughout, both Krista and I, it's just like communication is very important because a lot of times in the show, a lot of things happen, or like you see people misunderstand each other. It's because why didn't you just say this? And I think in my head, in real life, yeah, people don't say a lot, myself included, don't just say things sometimes. Communications wise, if you would just explain yourself better, maybe things would go along better.
What's your love language, John?
Giving or receiving?
I bet.
Throwing up on his dick, apparently.
Yeah, I've got my dick a lot.
Mine is words of affection. Like that's what I'm good at.
Where from?
Is like saying like how I feel about you, like and expressing it in a way that's very genuine and authentic and give like that's what I'm best at doing. My wife is a axe.
Yeah,
you know, like she makes my lunch and puts the croutons in separate bags. I thought you
like chopping firewood.
I gotta be bloody more useful sometimes. I'm just kidding.
I try to figure what it is for that particular person to do that thing because
you're trying to think what it is for the particular person.
Yeah, the person I'm trying to show affection for. I try to figure out what theirs is, and
you try to speak their love language.
Yeah.
Let's make some noise for you being involved.
I mean, that's the best, right? Because I've learned that like what you like to receive is not what other people do. So like you try to give them what they want because it doesn't help, right? If I like physical affection, I want to be touched, but the other person likes to do acts of like not touching, but just axing like wood,
like axe throwing,
and do that for you. It's like I appreciate that, I see that, but that's not what I really want. So it's like giving gifts. Like what do they want?
Yeah. No, I think that's a very mature
and that's harder actually to figure out because some people don't know what it is themselves.
That they want.
Yeah. Because it's not something like. Love language is a newer concept. People have it, obviously, it's a thing, but sometimes I don't think people realize what it is.
I think I think I'm multilingual when it comes to what I want. Like I think I want words of affection and I want physical affection.
You want a dick sucked?
Well, yeah. I didn't know that was an option. You know what? Forget the other two.
It works. It opens a lot of doors.
All right, what else you got?
Communications, and also that the entirety of Dexter and his problems all of it, every single last problem that's ever come across in all 8 seasons, happens because he didn't kill people he was supposed to kill. That's what it is.
That's the moral of the story?
For this, no, moral is communications. Okay. But moral of Dexter's story that he doesn't learn is that every time he gets
that everybody kill the people you're supposed to kill.
Well, he's a guy that plans to kill people.
Right.
And he kills them.
Yep.
And when he does that, things are fine. But when he doesn't, things are not fine every single time. And he keeps doing it. And so, I don't know. You know how I'm, Bobby. When I see people do certain things a certain amount of time, I hope they fail, kind of thing. It's just like by season 8, I'm like, I hope you die. I hope everybody around dies around you, and I hope you're miserable. And it's more or less that, kind of. My garage door froze shut, and I was late for work. I never had that happen before because I'm at the bottom of the valley.
Oh, really?
So to speak, all the water that melts pools around my house.
How did you circumvent it?
Boil a bunch of water.
Oh, really?
Pour it.
You should have hit me up. I could have come over with a extension cord and I got a heat gun.
I have a heat gun too, but
yeah, Randy should have ran that heat gun out there.
It was fine because we had the kettles that's for making tea or whatever the fuck. So like we heat up.
You should probably invest in some salt.
Yeah. Well, I was British at one point.
That's true.
Before I gave that up to be American.
Yeah. Upgrade you bloody ask me, you know.
Yeah. Maybe next year have a little salt.
Yeah, for sure. I've never had this happen to me. I went to open the garage door and went, I was like, oh shit! It was loud as fuck because I think tried to pull the garage door,
right?
And I didn't know what's wrong.
Yeah, they don't make baby crushers anymore. They're not as powerful as they used to be.
Baby crushers,
garage door openers.
Yeah.
They have those watermelon down there. That's how I used to break open a watermelon.
It's crazy.
But yeah, it was I've never seen that, and I was late, which I'm not happy about. I hate being late.
Yeah, same.
For work.
I hate being late for anything.
Me too.
I forgot I did some sledding this week.
How'd that go?
I almost went into your garage door.
yeah, because that's the bottom of the hill. My fucking house is the bottom of the
Yeah.
hill.
He's like, when I come over, I'd like to do some hill sliding.
I like that.
We don't even call it that. I don't even know why I said that. We call it sledding.
It's just a Cody thing.
I think sometimes I preemptively think they probably don't call it what we call it, so I'm just going to call it something that seems more simple. I was like, hill sliding, and then you were like, sledding, and I was like, that's what we call it. But
is it sledding or slaying?
If you're interested in it this weekend, we can do the big hill. We just take. We'll have to.
If you've got the sled, I'll do it.
We have. Yeah. I've even got the. We'll put some Pam spray on it and make it slick.
There we go.
My dad used to do that too to my shit.
Clark or Griswold.
Before there was like no sense of like child endangerment back in the day, just like fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck I mean, like soapbox racers, man. That's dangerous. Why the fuck do we let kids do that shit?
Send it.
Send it. We'll put wheels on a soapbox and roll you down a fucking hill with no fucking kind of
This
brakes.
fucking sled in fifth.
Lawn darts and Pam.
Oh my god, yes. Jesus Christ, lawn darts. Just javelins for kids to throw at each other. Like, it was good times. We all ended up fine, I think.
Most of us.
Yeah. Just like
there's a few lucky ones in there.
You're just like running around outside with guns.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You know, like that would seem insane now, but it was super common in my neighborhood.
Yeah, me too. I used to ride down the neighborhood with a BB shotgun on my back, but which looked like a regular fucking shotgun with no tip on it, and it was just fine. But nowadays,
The guys just have guns in their trucks in high school.
Yeah.
You know, on the rack in the back.
I think they still do. Where I'm from.
But we also had drug dogs at school, so it kind of didn't make sense. I don't know.
I think everywhere else in the world, if you said it seemed that crazy that kids are running around with guns, they wouldn't think it's that crazy.
Yeah, for one out, yeah.
No, who was it? Somebody came up. Was it?
I guess not in Syria.
Was it? Was it Irish Andy? That someone came over and was just like, I just expected everybody to have a pistol in there. Like,
Yeah,
It's pretty much anyone that's not been here, I think, thinks that.
I mean, it's not that. I don't know. It's not that wild. I have loaded guns in my fucking house.
I do too.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of us just have loaded guns sitting around.
But I
don't carry one around.
Right, I think a lot of people think that everybody's just walking around like with their 6-shooter on their side.
But a lot of people just can't have guns in general. Period. Right, in their countries.
Right.
Loads of my customers always say when I go there, like, do you not see shootings? I'm like, no. It's like, because they don't just walk around like,
wow. Well, it depends on the time of year, actually.
Think about how much cooler that would be.
I mean, and then around New Year's?
4 blocks away from where Cody works, there's a machete fight the next night, and that's a lot better. It's a lot easier to manage. Machetes from Amazon.
There actually was one in Romford, which is about 25 minutes from my shop.
God, speak the truth, man.
It was I think it was 2 Turkish guys, which is kind
Were
of
they
funny
using those like curved
swords? Scimitars?
Like the kebab, for cutting the kebab or kebab.
Oh my god! Was it a kebab turf war? Because they do have those.
Could be.
It's like, don't open a kebab stand where my kebab stand is, right?
Yeah.
I know in Hong Kong, like they have the little push cart. Well, back in the day, the street cart vendors. Yeah, they beef on turf. Because like there's so many different kinds of things you sell, but you don't want to try to sell the same shit somebody else is on their block. Otherwise,
what do they do? Just bump into each other like dodgems?
Oh no, they got cleavers.
Like what?
Oh, dodgem. Do you know about here?
No, what's dodgems?
Similar to a hill slide.
Like bumper cars?
Yeah, bumper cars.
Bumper cars. Dodgems.
Dodge them. What are you trying to do?
That's bumper cars. We like to bump into each other.
Yeah. Trying to
different mentalities, America.
That's fair,
right? They try to dodge each other. We try to hit each other.
They're dodging others. We're trying to hit.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to kill people.
That's culture.
That's
250 years of freedom will give you.
Buckle up, bucko.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth PC edition just dropped 8 minutes ago, so I won't see y'all for another 3 weeks probably.
Oh boy. Peace out, Joey.
Yeah.
There's nothing new.
That's
nothing new.
That's also nothing new nowadays. Yeah. Even though I live next door, I'm the one who can't show up.
Yeah.
It's a team effort, don't worry.
Well, we got a rack of people now, so
feast or famine.
Listen, since we have 5, the average will be.
We're starting great for the year. For the year, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Watched Dune episode 1 and 2 last night after Dexter.
Okay.
2 of 6. Interesting so far.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, I'd like to see where it goes. This is 10,000 years before the movie.
Yes.
Which I'm glad they would, and I wish they would do that for Star Wars. That's a whole Republic, right? But that's what we've been asking for. But yeah, so far, so good. And, just because of Dexter. My thought of the week is that morality is a Venn diagram, not a grayscale. Morality is a grayscale to each individual. Because when we talk about goods and bads, we know what's good, what's bad, and each of us have like a grayscale. It's like, depends on the situation. But as a society, we don't operate that way because we have laws and stuff. We just all put our grayscales together into a Venn diagram and decide what is good and what is bad for everybody overall. Because like vigilantism is okay for some people, like me. Or like there are people who supports like the Punisher and Dexter and stuff, right? I'm like, yeah, Dexter is doing good for the world overall, even though it's not a good thing. He's killing killers, right? He's killing people who got away with killing people. But as a society, we can't operate that way. So like in the Venn diagram, that would be like slightly off from the overlap. And I think a lot of things in society just operates that way. We just like all come together and see what overlaps and then decide that's the shit to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that well, I mean, that's because it's trying to please the most, right? I guess.
Yeah, it's just, because I've just always thought about it two-dimensionally, as a scale, when I'm like, no.
And then you add in the like juries and shit, and it's a whole another kind of swath of nuance.
And that's why you need so many jury members.
Well, I think that's intentional, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Yeah.
Because like you would want a system that, like our justice system or lack thereof, you would want something that releases some guilty people instead of persecuting innocent
well,
people.
that's a point I changed over time. Also, as a child, when I was younger, I used to think you want to get all the bad guys regardless of what happens, right? But then I didn't hit a girl with a rock, and then they said I did it. And I'm like, oh no, you probably want to make sure innocent people are innocent first,
right?
And that's why the innocent until proven guilty comes in, and I agree with that. Like, you rather let guilty people go than have innocent people in jail,
right? Because imagine like Dexter gets one wrong and kills.
He did get some wrong, and he felt really bad about it. But then but that's a deal breaker, right? For society as a whole, you can't fucking kill a wrong person once every 10 years. And that's not okay for us.
And then there was no justice because Dexter didn't get caught.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I was going to say, tying into that, is anybody, probably not, and that's fine, but is anybody tracking this YSL, YFN Atlanta trial, RICO case that's been going on for 2 years?
I mean, know of it, and I know it's been ridiculous.
It's been ridiculous. So one thing that was funny about it was after about 2 years, one juror...
What does SLIME stand for? Saving lives
saving
individually,
lives,
virtuously, and it's...
What does thug mean? Thanking, hugging, understanding gentlemen. But anyway, they had
justice.
They had this juror after like 2 years stand up and be like, look, I need to be removed from this jury panel. I am now biased against the prosecution. There's no way I can judge this trial fairly. I should be removed. Mm-hmm. And the judge was like, well, you were unbiased when you started. So he looked at the prosecution. She looked at the prosecution and said, "That's your problem."
Yeah, that's
continue.
True.
Wow.
I mean, that is true, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just have to start unbiased.
Yeah.
Was this the trial that like?
It was a RICO case involving Young Thug and all these.
And they were fucking up. The prosecution was fucking apart.
Wasn't there something like a backroom
yes.
conversation between the prosecutor and the
judge? And the lawyer heard about it, called the judge out on it, and the
then
judge
wouldn't give up the source. And then
the judge's response was, "Who told you?"
Right.
Yeah. Not like recess or approach the bench or any of that. It was who told you.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, "I'm not telling you that." And he was like, "If you don't tell me, I'm holding you in contempt and I'm locking you up." And he was like, "Well, lock me up, but my only request is that you lock me up with my client so I can continue to work with them."
Yeah.
And it was like, everybody's like, "Oh, shit."
Damn. I mean, they fucked up hard. But, the whole justice system it looks good on paper, at least. Because there are some that doesn't. There are justices in the world where, like, that doesn't seem right, where the one guy just is the Judge Dredd or whatever the fuck.
Right.
At least ours look good on paper. It just doesn't practice that way because of bureaucracy and shit. Like, just the fact of, like, picking jurors is interesting to me. I thought you just pick... I thought you just get what you get. You get a handful of randos to judge. No, they sit down and pick.
Right, but they're picking from a selection that's randomly generated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be like 50 jurors there.
Yeah. I've been there. That's why I remember. Like, they were looking at it and pointing.
Throw out 10 per side or whatever, and then they have to select.
They didn't want me. It's great. They never want me. I know.
Same.
I've juried it again next week.
Knock on wood.
Which just remind of. Good thing I didn't forget because I don't want to get what's it called, arrest warrant. One for my arrest for not.
Don't worry.
What?
I can tell you how to get out of it.
I always show when I was told to show, except when I was in school.
Just throw that thing away.
Fucking
doesn't come certified mail. They can't prove you got it.
Yeah.
Oh, you asked me last time what my favorite antagonist was, and it's Ray Stevenson, the Russian guy. I'm gonna watch not Predator, Punisher again.
Yeah. What movie is he in? Is he in?
He's in Dexter. He's like the main opposition, main Punisher ops in season 7. And he was great.
Yeah, and I made a mistake last episode and said John Voight, and it's John Lithgow.
John Lithgow was really good.
Really good.
You saw his big old ham ass. In episode 1.
No.
Yeah, and I think you got to see the the bottom of his ball sack too.
Lucky.
That's a lot of back of sacks and man's ass cheek, but all of ladies' titties too. It's very fair.
Yeah,
representation.
It's like the paving the way for ball sacks.
Yeah, just the back of the sack, just like a hint of a whiff of a sack.
Ball sacks are harmless.
But yeah, Ray Stevenson, it's great. God bless the dead.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the idea of embalming. On top of the idea of coffins.
Okay.
Well, the whole.
What happened in the last 5 days?
It's got to be all the Dexter shit.
It's got to be Dexter,
it's just
right?
in general. Have you not heard the show? I think of things and I just put it out here and see what people think.
I just really want to know.
I think about this stuff all the time a lot.
Yeah, but
in general, I drive a lot and I just think about shit.
So why do you hate embalming?
You know how ashes to ashes, dust to dust, return to the earth, all that good shit about circle of life.
This is the part of the Bible you want to follow.
Circle of life. That's the Elton John thing I want to follow.
Right? Circle.
Yeah. Like you come from the earth, you go back to the earth. Humans do the fucking best to not do that. At the best. At every fucking possible they can do to not give back to the earth, we do that. Embalming completely takes away the process of decay as much as fucking possible. You seal them in these boxes that aren't supposed to decay also, so
they're sealed. That's a big selling thing.
And you put everybody together in this little fucking dead people form on a mausoleum in the building, which I love, by the way. This architecture is great.
It is great.
And you just do your best not to give back. Even the idea of incineration. What's the word for incineration?
Cremated.
It's still okay because usually people spread the ashes and kind of give back, even though the act of burning a body destroys so much of the potential of it being used.
Energy can't be created or destroyed.
Yeah, it can be transformed though to usable or not usable. It turns into heat, which is nothing. We have enough heat. It's a waste. This is generating
not bloody these days, I tell you what.
But bro, we do the best not to give back in this. Even as a young lad, I wanted to be fucking just thrown into the woods.
You can still have that happen.
Yeah.
You had to own the woods.
Did you guys hear about the body farm thing that apparently these people were taking in body farm and then we're selling body parts black market?
That's cool. I think that's recycling.
I mean, it is. It is, but under false pretenses.
Yeah, no. But it became. I'm sure they didn't hear from me, right? Even though it's probably one of those ideas that multiple people generate at the same time. But my idea, I think, was in middle school, was that you should plant people in a plant. Bury people. And then plant a tree on them, and it would become the tree. At least it'll be something.
And if you put water in a cup, it becomes a cup.
We talk about bodies being worm food. It's not a bad thing. That's what it's supposed to happen. Why is it so normal?
It's the funeral industry. I mean, the embalming is so
really
so you can go in the room and see someone that kind of looks like your dead relative in a box. I mean, that's
I think it's hand in hand though with helping people with grieving. I think that
we didn't used to need that. You used to wrap people in linen and bury them the way you're supposed to, and then go back.
We built the biggest structures known to man to grieve.
It's dumb.
I know, but I'm saying
I know
that's
let it go.
We were talking about what we used to do. Yeah. We'd be way out of land if we were still building pyramids for anybody that was fucking.
Well, it's only for the royalties there, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense for them to be fucking self-indulgent.
Yeah, let's put fucking Biden in a fucking pyramid.
He'd get lost.
Yeah.
Bless his heart.
It's just like the selfishness of humans is just like mind-boggling to me sometimes. Or it's just they just don't think about it. I guess people don't because things become normalized, right?
Well,
like, you get raised in a certain way, and it's just normal. And to me, it's just like completely insane.
I think some of it is. I think some of it is like I always say you can't tell people how to grieve. Like I think a lot of that shit comes from having people deal with loss. You know, like and
I don't think it's healthy.
Well, I mean, but that's not. I mean,
it's not for me to say.
Yeah, you can have that opinion, but
I
like
say that, but normalizing.
I might feel the same way about like if you plant a tree on somebody, but the way that you actually deal with the loss, I might say is unhealthy.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, but it's just it's just abnormal to me.
Yeah, we've been cutting these trees down, trying to make more fucking room, and now you want to plant more?
They recycle, bro. You take the trees, you put the trees back.
Why don't they just make your body into paper and just cut out the middleman?
I like the water thing. They're still talking about that? They put your body into like this fucking like boiler and like melt all your fucking biological materials down, and then into like a sludge, and then they can recycle that shit, and then you get the pure bones.
I think that's how Harley Quinn was created.
Huh?
I don't like that. I don't want that.
They have enough. Listen, they have enough boiled things to eat in England.
But I mean, that's just like I don't know. Soil ingredients people was fine with me.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I'm being cremated and shot into space. That's what I'm having.
See, leaving the Earth, completely taking your body out of the equation.
Well, yeah. Except, have you seen this thing about all the space debris?
Well, we have lots of. We can't. There's gonna be a point where we can't fucking launch anymore.
Yeah, like from the shit that we like. I saw this
bullshit we throw up there.
I saw this model.
So you're saying there's an opportunity to go to space and be a space janitor?
Yeah,
sign me up, buddy.
Yeah,
a true belter.
Belter Lauda.
Oh yeah,
Paul Shang.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking debris out in space. I remember there was a role-playing game, Rifts. I talk about how in the future, like there's space travel is no longer possible because of like crap in space. This was back in the early 90s. I'm like, oh, that's a crazy idea. Space is huge, and like 30 years later, it's fucking come true.
Yeah,
it is huge, but like one single, as we see in The Expanse, one single fucking screw going through your spaceship will kill everybody.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So like you can't. I think they have a tracking system in NASA of like every fucking debris around.
Yeah, they probably do.
And you can only launch a certain time into certain orbit, into certain area, into space. So like you're actually very limited.
Well, eventually it'll all come down.
Sure.
Maybe. That's it.
No, it will.
You don't think that's stable orbits?
No.
That's probably a lot of decaying orbit.
I mean, how long on the time scale? Because like the moon will eventually crash into the Earth, but it's going to get flung off. Yeah, one or the other.
The moon is getting further away.
Yeah, but like the time scale.
Even the moon's sick of us.
Yeah. So
the moon's just watching. It's like, what is this shit?
So they said that if the International Space Station, like if something happened on Earth and we were no longer able to support them, that they would die from a decaying
orbit first
before they ran out of food.
Huh? Interesting.
Huh. That is interesting.
Yeah, because I know you can't stay in orbit forever, but it's just like on time scales, like in 10,000 years or 40,000 years, perhaps.
Yeah. Mm.
But yeah, that's my fucking random.
So like 3 civilizations away from now,
that's why I don't have kids. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to. I wonder when my grandkids are gonna have a moon or not. No,
it won't be your grandkids. It'll be like
I think it's like a eighth of an inch a year. I think we're okay with the moon.
That's a joke to be had somewhere in there.
Farrell, how was your nerd week?
Oh, I took some notes this time.
I want to hear your random thoughts. I feel like you are a person who would have random thoughts, so I'm not the only crazy person in this room.
So I had a thought on the way here.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I didn't write this one down. So since the pandemic,
okay,
I feel like we've started to finally, and this is not a good thing, we're losing society.
Since yeah, but that's for sure.
So the amount of complete dickhead asshole drivers now that the cops aren't doing a fucking thing is, I got passed on the road out here on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when I was doing 75 miles an hour in a 55 and somebody passed me.
I need to talk to you because this is getting obnoxious.
Okay, hold on.
Pause.
Go ahead. Driving.
Yeah.
Somebody passes you on the shoulder. You're in the fast lane?
Yeah.
And how fast are you going?
75.
That's not fast enough.
That's not fast enough.
In 55.
Yeah, it's not. So
80,
my no.
Were you on 70?
No.
32.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's different.
My personal opinion is, if I'm on 32 going 100,
and that, just so everybody knows, that's a state road, a 4-lane state road here.
32's 2 lanes.
Wait, hang on. Divided 2 and 2.
Oh, it's divided 2 and 2.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
So if I'm going 120 miles per hour and somebody in the fast lane wants to go 122 miles per hour, I'm going too slow.
So here's my thing. There was traffic in front of me and traffic to the right of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So this is not I understand the
moving over thing,
rules of the road.
Yeah.
Somebody comes up behind you and you just get over. It was not possible.
They didn't give you the option to allow for time to get out of the way.
Yeah, they're just zooming.
Right. This is just balls to the wall.
Gotcha.
Shoulder.
Right.
I've seen people do that on a motorcycle before. I've actually never seen a car, other than in like an emergency, there's a wreck or something situation.
Yeah. So just since the cops stopped doing anything, it's chaos now.
They still pull people over. I see
pull somebody over. I see them. Yeah.
Off air, I can tell you some things.
But I just recently was going to work, and there was a car that was going slow in front of me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't, in terms of how I drive, I wouldn't classify what I was doing, riding his ass, so to speak. I was probably closer than 2 car lengths. But when I ride your ass, it's different, so to speak. And
4 to 6 inches, baby.
Your reputation precedes you by about 11 inches. So anyway, we're coming around the bend onto 75. And then we get to the light where I'm going to make a left onto 70, and he's going to continue straight, working at Costco warehouse, I'd imagine. That's rude and judgmental of me, but that's how I feel. And he was at the park light, and I didn't even think much of it. I was just happy he was the fuck out of my way at this point. And he was like, he just stuck his middle finger out the window. So I rolled down my window, and I was like, hey, fuck you. And then he was like, fuck you. And then I was like, fuck you. I was like, you motherfucker. And he was like, you want to ride my ass? And I was like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. And I just started yelling, shut the fuck up, like across the fucking highway. And then I almost hit him with the SMD. Almost. I was about this close, but I was like, am I ready for that this morning? Am I ready to do that? There's a fucking icy on the ground. Do I want to? Because in my mind, if you say that, you got to be ready to go. Right? If you drop those 3 in sequence, you got to be ready to go. And am I ready to go right now? And I was like, you know what? I'm okay with just yelling at this fucking shit. And then the light turned green and we went our separate ways. But he was so angry for such in my opinion, a very minor infraction.
I had something like that happen similar to me recently. So, where I live, the UPS store is in like the worst possible location. It's in that, like down in between Safeway and Walmart, with that little strip there where like the restaurants are. There's no parking. You have to walk. So it was one of those weeks where my knees were just trash. I had to drop some packages off. So I've gotten where I just pull up in front of the fucking mattress store.
Dick.
Where nobody. Well, I used to actually just put on my hazards at the stop sign. A lot of people do that.
They do.
But I pulled down there like in front of the mattress store because Lord knows nobody's going to be going in there.
Money laundering.
And I felt like I was pretty far out of the way. Right. I had my hazards on. I went in, did my business, come back out, and this like big 4-door truck pulls up. Like the guy says, "Thanks for blocking traffic." I said, "Hey man, no problem." And I was just thinking, like, I am not in physical condition to fight right now. And I didn't bring anything with me.
Right.
So maybe that's probably the end of that. But part of me was like, oh,
when I
come on, dude.
Like 100 pounds worth of stuff, I park and I walk the packages and I make multiple trips so that I don't block.
I did the same.
Well, in this case, I'm not blocking anything.
And I'm not trying to shame you, by the way.
Well,
I'm not.
Please feel free. Hey, listen, I put my shopping cart up. I'll just say that. There's 2 types of people in the world, and I'm a putter-upper.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. Like my whole thing is,
if your cart rack's full, I'm going to probably just put it like the wheels on the curb, just so it's out of the way.
The way I try to move through life is just not being in anyone's way.
I try not to inconvenience anybody.
Yes,
like that's my ultimate
inconvenience.
But then when I think I get hyper irritated when people don't pay me that same courtesy because I'm so dedicated to it. Yeah. And I when the karma isn't returned, I get irritated.
There's no karma.
So
I'm speaking.
The UPS thing is a good segue. So I had a package delivered to me at work.
Like you meant to have a package?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the UPS delivery person, I wasn't at my office when they showed up on Monday, and they took it to a different unit.
Really? Like in your complex?
On the other side of the building, and then put a note on my door saying, "Hey, we left it at Unit D or whatever."
I've seen that happen.
And so I show up probably 30 minutes later, and it's like 12 degrees outside, and I'm like, now I got to walk around the fucking building and then hand carry, and it's like shipping boxes and stuff like that. So it's not like the easiest thing just to be like, oh, just here's a little box. And
right.
So I've got to make
tuck it under my arm.
4 fucking trips.
Well, you just drive down there.
That's fair.
Well, because then I would have to be parking in their customer parking spot.
Do they have?
Were they busy?
They do have people coming.
What is the other business? I'm just curious.
Embroidery.
It's not that busy, bro.
They had somebody parked in their fucking parking spot.
They have one parking spot?
Yeah.
What kind of establishment is this?
Enough for one parking spot.
Doesn't sound like they're aiming to be too busy.
Well, if you could completely compromise their business by parking your vehicle in that spot, I can see.
Well, so
I just don't. It's something I just don't do myself.
Yeah.
I would not.
So I just walked over and got my shit. I should have been there 30 minutes earlier when the UPS showed up, but I was like, you know what, man? Just fucking leave it in your truck and bring it tomorrow. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So another fire in LA?
Yeah, I just heard about
it's not
this.
the same one?
Yeah, no,
That's
so
a different one.
This is in northern LA, right?
Yeah, I mean, not like crazy far away. It's still threatening LA proper.
Huh. Yeah, I just read something about it.
And I wrote down, I'm with Joey. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's normal.
Like, we didn't
normal.
even get to the next fire season. It's like just in the same one. There's another like holy shit, what are we going to do? I'm like,
I mean, the fact that fire season exists, I don't care.
Right.
You shouldn't have a fire season where you live if you can help it.
Yeah.
But what if you can't help it?
Well,
Yeah.
don't live there. Anyway.
It's probably, if you can afford to live in LA, you can probably afford
There's a lot of poor people in LA.
Yeah, right. I don't know how the housing situation is. Do they have projects and stuff? Is that why they can afford to live there?
A lot of
absolutely. But they also even their poor neighborhoods. Actually, it's an interesting story. A lot of their poor neighbor, when I would be a kid and watch rap videos of like Ice Cube or whatever, I would be like,
it's not that bad.
What's the big deal? Like a single family home you got there. You got there's not much grass in the lawn.
Yeah,
but
and Mama cooked the breakfast with no hog.
I mean, well, that's a little upsetting.
It is,
fair,
but there was something. Right?
And actually, it was more.
He got his grub on, but he didn't pig out because he didn't pig out because there wasn't any bacon. See, Ice Cube was
I see what he did
tricks
there.
We did,
but he also. To be fair, the pork substitutes are usually more expensive. So
that's true.
It's all about allocating resources. But like the palm trees in your front yard and everything else, I was always like, and if you get really worked up, just use some of those weight benches you got sitting out there and get a little bit of energy out. So the reason why those houses are out there is because actually Los Angeles back in the day was like a kind of thriving middle class, like working class black neighborhood. Like a lot of these neighborhoods,
almost like Dundalk is here.
Yeah. I mean,
back when Bethlehem Steel was open, it was
exactly. So like there was a lot of like
Dundalk, just like LA.
There was a lot of like unions that were pretty much almost entirely Black Americans, like that were completely unionized, and those companies outsourced to other countries. Killed all the factory work and impoverished the neighborhood like almost overnight.
I mean, that's pretty much this story of Detroit. And,
yep, 100%.
Everywhere.
I mean, that's Bethlehem Steel in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Think about like you wouldn't say.
And then that's why these impoverished neighborhoods are like all single family homes. Because it was a matter of like, well, do we destroy them and put up housing projects, or do we just allow these to just be low income housing?
Interesting. So on Monday night, I went and played trivia.
How'd that go?
What kind of trivia?
It's like just general
trivia.
Bar trivia, right?
Yeah.
So it's just an excuse for me to have, like 16 beers on a Monday.
I love playing trivia.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm going to pour more, fucking knowledge juice in my face.
Did you win?
Not this week. Last week we got second place.
And what's the big prize?
Like $50 gift card.
Hey, gift card for that place you're at. Oh, that's pays the beer tab.
So we had a newcomer to the team, which is a very long story. But,
now, who are you playing with? Lay this out for us. By the way, did Dwayne give you that bracelet? It says the rock on it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a weird thing to say in any capacity, but sure.
Yeah. It's a buddy of mine and his now fiance. That play trivia. It started. I randomly met this older guy at this pub that I go to all the time.
Go on.
And
I mean, that's a country song.
It was on a trivia night. And I didn't normally go in on Monday nights. And he's like, hey, man, do you want to team up? And I was like, okay. Ended up being cool. He's no longer with us anymore. Died of alcoholism.
Wait, hang on. You met a man in a bar that died of alcoholism.
Yeah.
Okay.
God bless the dead.
Fun brand.
God bless the dead. So I've brought other people in now, and whenever we can, we play.
Nice.
So this other person came in, kind of didn't realize it was going to happen. Right? She just showed up and she decided to cheat.
Oh my God.
On your team?
On the team.
Well, and you still didn't win.
Hold on. So there's a better cheater on that.
So I can't remember the question. It was like, this chemical composition is typically found in coal and everything like that. And I was like, oh, it's carbon. Mm-hmm. Right? And then, we write it down.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And a minute later, she's like, it's iron. And I was like, well, what makes you say that? And she's like, I looked it up. And I was like, when she fucking looked it up, I mean, I guess we'll change it. Mm-hmm. Change it? Fucking coal. Or carbon.
Yeah. Why would iron be in coal?
So, I just looked at her, I was like, can you not Google? Like, how do you fuck this up?
He used Ask Jeeves.
So then afterwards, I looked up the question.
She texted her friend.
I looked up the question. All over the first search page, it's like all of it's just carbon. I'm like, how did you fuck that up? So I wrote down cheating gone wrong.
That's incredible.
So on Saturday before that, I was at a bingo event.
Your life is insane.
Oddly enough, ended up bumping into my wife and kids at the same bingo event.
Why were your wife and kids playing bingo?
Why not?
A charity event.
Oh,
okay. That makes more sense. I'm just like, you just go on trivia days and bingo. Okay,
you live
how old are you?
Of a 65-year-old man.
Yeah.
That's
what I was thinking. But okay, that makes sense as a charity event.
Yeah, it's a charity event, and I was like, I wasn't doing anything, so I was like, I'll pop in, and next thing you know, there comes a goof troop. So I played bingo with the goof troop.
There you go.
And I heard about the candle story then. And I got
and it's funny.
How did you know?
From Selena. Yeah. My wife was like, I think Farrell's quite the gambler. And I was like, oh, my dear. We're just scratching the surface of this bad
I might have dropped $200 on bingo.
Farrell is scratching the surface. It's working out.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And the last thing I have on here, I know we don't really want to talk about politics too much.
Yeah.
But
do we not?
Remember I was like last week. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't really want to.
It ends up coming up.
It ends up like the thing is,
avoid it.
The thing is, we're fine.
Yeah.
It just ends up upsetting the people that listen.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So, it kind of confirms everything I thought about the whole Democrat Party, Republican Party, the Biden and Trump pardons. So,
both
Biden
fucking
on the
miserable.
way out, Trump on the way in, just fucking craziness. Like, middle finger, fuck you. Them,
yep.
Like, whatever.
And also, like, once again, the things that I expect shit like that from both of them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
upsetting that you. Yeah,
I do. We shouldn't.
I do. We shouldn't be expecting.
But what upsets me at my core the most is going through my news feed and seeing people criticize the other one,
right, for doing the
exact same thing, that they're a fan of the person that they either voted or that lost or whatever. How you want to do it? Yeah,
just AI.
It is a little.
I would trust a computer to run things better than any human.
It is. Well, you should watch Skeleton Crew. It is interesting that 1,500 people who basically got convicted of terrorism have been released from prison en masse.
Yeah, and then
we'll see how that goes.
And then Biden, with no charges, no investigation, just blanket pardons his family for things that they're not even technically accused of. So like
just in case.
Yeah. So like,
honestly,
can you just go out and do whatever the fuck you want now?
I mean,
because that's what I told. I was talking to my wife. I was like, so can they just go like on a murdering spree? And they're like, you're good.
Is it like for like 24 hours? Is it like
is this just a
purge? But like, I mean, again, things are just insane to me. The whole idea of pardon is insane to me in general. Why do we collectively accept that? Yeah, you as the president, you just get to give out jail-free cards.
The way it's normally it happens, or at least the way I remember it normally happening, would be like commuting a sentence of somebody that's like, hey, you petition the president and say like, hey, I've been in jail for 35 years for selling weed.
Yeah.
And the president's like, you know what? I think you've done your time. I'm just going to say you're good now.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't even be the case. It should be up to like scaling up to your court, up into a Supreme Court where they look at the law because they're lawyers and be like, you know what? You're right. We don't even put people in jail for weed anymore. We should fucking let you all go.
But I don't think you understand the amount of bureaucracy that happens day to day that just doesn't allow for the people to do that sort of extra work.
Right. But then we allow a dude to just be like, hey, you good.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's
I would imagine that lever was put in there for a reason that has nothing to do with the way it's used now.
I don't. You're more than likely
sure there's some research there. So
that's all I got.
Okay.
How's the expansing going?
Expanding?
Looking forward to these conversations.
Yeah. So what did I say? Like
I think you said you were towards 3
of season 3.
Have they gone through the gates yet? Where are you at?
Yeah.
So
they got the high speed stop fucking exploding outwards.
Well,
I love that.
That was a great scene.
Yeah. So
just a fucking guy methed out, going as fast as he can and hitting a brick wall, basically
trying to get
in
laid.
Space.
Trying to get laid.
It makes sense. That actually is relatable.
I think season 3 is one of my favorite seasons.
Yeah, I think you said before like
3 and 5 are my favorites.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for transition's sake, I finished watching The Expanse again. I think it's probably my 6th or 7th watch.
Your speed run?
I watched like 8 episodes over the weekend. How did you get that much further ahead of me?
Is it just like when you say watch, it's more of a lowercase W?
Like
right? You're doing other shit on in the background.
It depends. Like yes and yes. So like if I'm working in the shop, I'll put it on and watch it. But then before I go to bed, I'll watch a couple episodes.
Right.
And it's crazy. You watch something as much as I've seen that, and I'm still like, oh.
Well, so this
especially on a rewatch, because you're like, oh, that, like when Naomi's being all elusive about her past, and now I don't know if it's all come out yet, and then you're like, oh, now a lot of her decisions make more sense.
Spoiler.
So I didn't say what decisions.
8-year-old spoiler.
So the season 3 is the one that I've actually had to not watch it at work because I have to pay attention to it more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So I can't just be doing other things. So I found myself being like, fuck, pause,
rewind.
Yes.
Stop what I'm doing, watch that. Like, what are they talking about? Like, what is this thing?
Got it. Play.
Right.
It gets involved with politics and backstabbing.
They're on the Behemoth, right? So you've met Ashford.
Yeah.
I love that fucking character, man. I love that character.
I don't know why the spinning the drum.
Spin the drum.
Why they thought that was going to break up the ship.
I think because they had bolted a bunch of shit to it and it had never done it before.
Oh, okay.
Because they never tested it.
They try to use real world physics in that thing. So, and giant things moving around in space doesn't always end up well.
Spin the drum.
Well, not all the physics is right.
No, it's not. It's
the whole
pretty
talking
good
between each other in spacesuits.
do you know who's...
It's pretty good in comparison to most sci-fi.
That's true.
Well, do you know whose story arc in there I think is underrated and not even noticed? Diogo. The kid whose uncle dumps him out when they're rock hopping, and then he's and Miller meets him, and then he's on
That's
the drop ship.
That's the one they were having the conversation on the drop ship.
Yeah, right? The one you hate, and then late he comes back with Ashford, and he has a tattoo on his face and all that shit. I just think it's interesting that they took the time to take that character that far to actually have a kind of a story arc when he's just really a background character.
Well, now I know he doesn't do anything.
Well, if you've seen season 3, you've probably seen.
Yeah.
He stole the power armor.
Yeah.
You don't see him again. Yeah. Oh. I'm pretty sure he got elevated the wrong way there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But great stuff.
What else, Chris?
Oh man. Let's see what else I have here. So I might have mentioned this at one point in time. So I was driving home one night and I was on the road next to our road, and there's a spot where it's like there's a pond there and some tall grass, and I see these eyes. What is it?
He keeps moving around the fucking bike, and it sounds like somebody's like, he doesn't have headphones, so he doesn't know.
Oh, okay. So I see these big forward-facing eyes looking at me, which means it's a predator, right, of some kind. Not that predator, but an animal that will eat another animal.
That's us.
And it kind of freaks me out. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Well, it snows. Like it's been snowing. By the way, this, I think, on record, may be the coldest episode of Nerd Rage ever.
Yeah.
It was 3 degrees when I got out of my vehicle today. It's fuck this weather. I am so fucking...
I love it.
I don't want to live here.
And hopefully...
I don't want to live here anymore.
Hopefully it's the earliest
I can't deal
episode we ever do.
This what?
The earliest.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably
This is not unusual. We've done 7 a.m.
Yeah, this
in
is
the past.
unusual. This is unusual.
Well, of
Late is usually we're like 9 or 10.
Back at 1.5. Back at 1.5, we would do 7 a.m. shows.
Yeah.
So I have a habit of every morning when I wake up, I take a piss, I weigh myself just out of habit because the scale's right in front of my window in the bathroom, so I just always look out the window. And I look down and there's some tracks. Some big tracks.
Oh, really?
Like paw prints.
Bar?
Like the size, bigger than my hand paw print.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So I'm like, what the fuck is this? So looking at tracks now, it looks like right outside my bedroom window is the freeway based on the amount of foot traffic that's getting there. So I bought a knockoff Ring camera that I'm going to put on my back deck there basically just to see what the fuck is going on out
What
here.
if it turns out to be furries?
Bro, sign me up. At least they're staying warm out there.
Usually like doors unlocked.
Yeah. We did.
You put a little doggy door like a
for the furries.
Yeah. Yes, you got to make it big enough though.
yeah.
Well, that's like half my screen door. It actually might work. So, God damn. There's furries. There's people living in my fucking woods wearing fursuits, and it's 3 degrees.
And they all just want to fuck.
Yeah, well, you wake up, you wake up, and they're like curled up at the bottom of your bed. You're like, no, I'm here for the fucking, not for this shit, not for this LARP ass shit.
So, we didn't talk about it last week, but Nintendo has released the teaser for the Switch 2.
Oh yeah. Oh, I saw that.
Yep. And the big draw for me is Mario Kart 9.
Oh, wow.
Hang on a second, it gets better.
Tell me.
24 at a time.
24 cars?
Yes.
Wow.
It's going to be chaos, and I'm here for it. Like, we signed up for like the pre-order email, let us know, drop.
They domesticated the fuck out of Donkey Kong.
They did.
He does, like, he's a big angry monkey.
Yeah.
He's like a fucking dad, a goofy dad now.
Yeah, I think that was N64. It was Donkey Kong Country, or was that Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo.
So it was Super Nintendo.
He was still an angry monkey. He's been an angry monkey for a while.
That's what started, because then he had Diddy.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, kids ruin everything. It just takes the edge off of everything.
See, I love it.
It's cool, but it's just
I love Donkey Kong Country now.
But don't you
look
like a big angry ape though?
I celebrate the whole gamut.
Well, Nintendo.
But Diddy is not an angry guy, so you don't have to.
No, but I like the old man with the cane ape.
Yeah.
Nintendo's got some issues. They got Diddy and they got Luigi.
I love the Luigi memes.
Yeah. So it's they said it's got a basically PS4 amount of processing and graphical interface, which
way to be 2 generations behind.
Oh, well, look,
and yet somehow you can put a fucking game in the Switch and turn it on, it comes right the fuck on.
You don't have to blow on the disc or anything.
Well, you don't have to wait for it to fucking upload and fucking download and fucking wait for it to upgrade and fucking.
No, you just have to green Amazon. It's fine.
And then upgrade your controller and all this other shit. Like that's what blows my mind about some of that. And I hate to go on a rant about it. But like
this fucking
grinds my gears?
Old man screams at Cloud, literally like Cloud the storage.
So I have a PS4. My PS4 requires all of this fucking hoops to jump through in order to play a game. That Switch you can buy, open it, put the game in, and play. What's the problem?
I don't. So if I want to play my PS5, I turn it on and it takes 30 seconds to load it up, and unless the power went off, it loses.
Just do what your computer does. You tell it to update when you're done playing for the day. You tell it to update and shut down. So like,
I understand your frustrations, but I think if you used it more, it would be.
Yeah, but I just don't have time.
I understand that. That is the fault.
But I don't have to use the Nintendo Switch any more or less for it to work properly.
That's true.
I do think it's crazy on the PS5 when it's like your controller needs to update, and I'm like, why?
Because that last shit in your controller nowadays is not. Yeah. It's like I want all the functions.
What if they have a new driver for your speaker in your
and
PS5
it sounds better?
controller?
Yeah.
You know, now when the cops are chasing me in Cyberpunk, the controller flashes blue and red. It's frightening.
So I'd rather not have to update my controller and not have special features on my controller.
It takes like 30.
It's a thing of what you want out of it, though. It's like it's good the function exists. You just don't want it. So like you want what you need is something different. But the rest of us want what we got.
I mean, it's not the rest of us. I've looked a fair amount about this. This is a hot topic. This is not a me screaming into the wilderness. This is a very popular complaint.
Okay, I think it's just because I'm a PC gamer. So
with modern gamers,
I mean, I'm playing on PC and console lately.
Yeah, I have never heard any problem.
Not PCs. It's not the same.
Anytime I play Call of
PC
Duty,
these nuts.
It's got a 13 gig update.
I mean, the problem is you're playing Call of Duty in the first place.
Well, but
yes,
do you like shooting 12-year-olds in the head?
And then screaming racist slurs at them?
Do you like getting shot in the head by 12-year-olds?
No, that's why.
And then them calling you the N-word?
You should play with my
That's why I train.
That's why I train. Yeah, that's why I was late today. I was getting in my 3 hours of COD. I have been playing some more Cyberpunk. Not as much as I play a couple hours a couple times a week. I played last night for a little while, and New Game Plus, I'm just kind of blowing through all the missions, and I blowing people up and having a good time. Let's see. Hey Joey.
Yeah.
Fuck. Did you hear about the father that got his ass kicked by a ghost?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, he's a deadbeat dad. None's just for you. So, two shows I enjoy quite a lot. Abbott Elementary, I've spoken about that on here. Mm-hmm. And It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Both are Mouseketeer shows now. They did a crossover episode.
Oh, really?
So, Abbott Elementary is a 22-minute ABC
classic
straight-laced two-camera sitcom. No laugh track or anything. It's Always Sunny has anybody else watched Sunny?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. That's not them.
No, not at all.
So it was basically the story was they had to come to community service at the school. And in the most PG-ish way they could, I thought they did a good job with it. Like Danny DeVito's character on that show is an absolute maniac.
Yeah.
And he ends up like in a raccoon cage. They were trying to catch raccoons that were eating their garden. And he was like, you got to put, I don't know, some ridiculous thing. He's like, you got to put deer fat or something stupid. Next thing you know, they go check the raccoon trap and Danny DeVito's like eating the deer. He's in the cage.
Maybe that's what's in your yard. It's Danny DeVito.
Maybe
oh, shit.
Bro,
that would be amazing.
That would be great. I was like, come on, buddy. Come on inside.
I'd come visit you.
Danny DeVito in a furry suit.
Just for Danny
in a furry suit.
Yes.
Oh, ready to go.
I don't think I mentioned this on here, but Charlie quit school. My 11-year-old quit school. When I say quit school, he is if you miss a certain amount of days in a row, there's basically tutor program. They send somebody to the house to teach you how. And with his medical issues, like even the teachers recommended this. They're like, look, if he can't be here consistently, and we get it, we have this program, but you have to miss like X amount of days.
Just come out.
So starting, I think the semester ends this week or something, and then starting next week, he'll actually have, I think, twice a week somebody comes to the house.
So homeschool hybrid,
kind of. So I have, I mean, it's not me trying to teach him though. It's like there's a trained professional that works for the school system that's coming to do this, and it hasn't necessarily been the school has not been as. I take that back. Some of his teachers are not as cool with it as others, right? So they send him a whole bunch of work home. We go get it, and half of it's stuff he's already done. Half of it is like these kids are in the 6th grade. It seems like a little like like they gave him a book to read. I swear it was as thick as my phone, and they're like, read the first 6 chapters. I'm like, what's there, 4
I don't
words?
like reading eggs and ham. I don't like them, Sam. I am.
That's some little story. I mean, Charlie just devoured it in like 20 minutes. I'm like,
well,
I don't know.
It's probably relative, right? There's probably kids in that class where that might be challenging.
So he has a class, and I don't remember what they call the class, but the section that they're doing right now is called Lost Arts. Do you want to guess what they teach these kids in the Lost Arts class?
Like Chinese, ancient Chinese secret? Oh,
cursive is one thing. Like using a actual hands on a clock. Learning. I mean, it's nothing that people don't do that anymore. But cursive. Can everybody at this table write in cursive?
Unnecessary.
Like if you had to write your name in, not your signature, but write Bobby Skullface in cursive, could you do it like pretty accurately? I don't have a.
I can do.
I wish we had a pen and paper here. I'd have everybody just to see. But
yes, I can.
Okay,
but I'll tell you. Yeah, I had to make sure that I. But like, there are certain letters, like a capital J is one of those ones that I got to like think about.
The G is the one that's fucking stupid.
The G is a weird one too.
Lowercase R. Some people write 2 different ways.
Yeah. So.
But I think I could work more.
The funny thing about it is, like, the worksheet that the teacher had. No, it wasn't. One of the teachers had. Some kids they had done like a big get well soon thing for them, and a couple of teachers had written some really nice notes. And there you go. Yeah,
that looks more like a signature. To be fair,
saying all that to say, one of the notes was in cursive, and Charlie couldn't read it. He couldn't. So I mean, and I just looked at it and like
it's like Latin.
Yeah, but then he's got another teacher. It's got like badass like. Fucking like comic book
Comic Sans?
No, comic book style like fucking like perfectly slanted, and she's kind of the one that's
like, bro, just fucking spend that time on algebra instead.
I know.
Please.
I remember I got it.
I don't understand the old motherfuckers who's upset about cursive. I hear this at work. Old motherfuckers like kids don't know how to fucking read cursive. Kids don't know how to do fucking algebra. That's more important.
I would rather them learn like fucking computer program.
Any fucking thing that's useful.
Look, like, listen,
any fucking thing that's useful.
I remember
being
shitty
handwriting.
3rd and 4th grade and like doing the drills and having to get all those shapes right and the line paper. But it's literally just like a 3-week thing. They're not dragging them through the mud. So I don't think Mason did it at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think my daughter did like one little section and Charlie's doing one little section. So I mean, it was super. I remember being super important. Like
I got into an argument one time with someone that we both know, debate, I'll say, and they were like, "Well, they're going to read the Constitution," and I was like, "Well,
probably pull it up on their phone."
I pulled it up on my phone. I was like, "I'd start here. I can." You want?
Yeah.
And also, like, do we have to read it in that?
You have to put the E's on the end of everything. Oldie.
And like just that whole we could probably interpret it to like modern day English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the King James version of the Constitution.
Yeah. Like and now they have the NIV.
There you go.
There's like the new international version of the Bible where it's like reads a little bit more straightforward.
At least like clock reading is practical. We still have hand clocks.
Yeah.
And it would kind of be good. Like most people probably don't know how to read the sundial, but you can probably guess, right?
I mean, like if you had never seen a clock face, like you had never.
But I can't imagine that because clocks are still relatively regular around. So like knowing how to read that, it's like
I think it's more important
to teach you.
It's more important to read a clock than it is to read cursive.
I will tell you, at the hospital my wife was at last week, every room has a giant red digital by the second clock on the wall now.
Good.
There's no more hands-on.
Good. It's the same reason we don't have sundials, because we figured out a better way.
This is true. Until that way's gone. But
right, and then we get something better. We're gonna have implants in our brains. We know exactly what time it is at all times. That's gonna be fine.
They have them. I think they're trying them right now. $10,000. Yeah, $10,000 or whatever for the implant.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll just fucking all plug in the matrix.
I've been finishing up some dial work. That honestly, orders came in last year that. I was under the assumption that once I built it, someone was going to paint it, and they never got painted. So I've been doing it all. And today, I'm going to pay my daughter to help me pack it out, because I hate packing the shit up. That's the worst part. But I do have a dial project for somebody's making figures that I can't really talk about too much, but
project.
Well, I can tell you who it is, because I think it's with Unparalleled Universes YouTube channel. The guy's name's Wade. He made
I've seen
an Odious figure. It's like a
smelly figure.
I'm doing something with Odian.
They used to have those. Is that a man thing or something? They used to have
Moss Man.
Yes.
No. Skunkor.
Yeah, something. They used to have smelly figures, so like bringing back smelly figures.
Anyways,
and all McFarlane figures.
He and I work on a project. I've been chasing forever, trying to find it. And Farrell, if you don't know this, I'm obsessed with trying to find 12th scale cars to go with 6-inch action figures. And just wandering through, STL files one day, and I found this guy who had a Crown Vic model that he had made.
Oh,
so most of this stuff is made for Cop Car Taxi, right? So I've always said that would be the perfect thing, although they don't use them anymore, but still.
Now it's just people with poor credit scores that buy them at auctions.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't it fuck with you though when you see a car pulling up behind you and you see the lights?
I think it's offensive.
Yeah, take the fucking light off.
Take it fucking off.
The spotlights.
They like it. They know it.
They know what it is, and they wouldn't want somebody doing it to them.
Yeah,
courtesy.
No courtesy. Assholes.
So
passing on the shoulder.
Most of these models I find are made for RC, so they're pretty rugged. Like it's 3 pieces that it all like you bolt it together. Mm-hmm. So I've been working on that. Actually, I have 2 of them going. Just filling, sanding, and I've learned a lot about post processing for this stuff. Like getting the lines out and everything. It's basically you just use like a 80 grit sandpaper and just knock the fuck out of it, and then just basically buff it out with different sandpaper. I actually bought a box yesterday. This is funny. Mason is also doing a lot of stuff like cosplay. They're going to what con is in February?
TatsCon?
Sure. They're going to a anime convention the weekend of Valentine's Day, which let me tell you, I'm pretty upset about. I'm not because I'm going to go see, and actually I was going to see if anybody else wanted to go see Captain America because it comes out on like that week.
I would like to, yes. I got to check my work.
And then I've got a wrestling pay-per-view on Saturday. So
you got a full week.
I've got a full week, I think. And the NJCC, by the way, I'll be selling it in NJCC the weekend of the 22nd of February.
Okay. Maybe I have stuff for you to take.
Please do, because I'd love to take stuff.
You can just, as usual, you can just give my shit away.
That's fine. Yeah, I somewhere in between.
Well, like buy a crash box, you get a free fucking Gundam, whatever the fuck.
Right.
I might have.
So we'll be there with our rock block as usual. But I love learning how to do stuff. I love doing, and I've had so much fun fucking with these cars. Like that's all I've been doing. And I had an interesting conversation at Walmart yesterday. I was on one of the craft aisles.
With who? With a worker or a rando?
No, a rando. But it makes sense. So I was looking at...
Talking to people at Walmart is just wild to me.
Well, hang on. I'll explain it. I was on the aisles. I don't even remember why I went down. It was like where the craft paint is. And there's a guy there in a cart, and he was looking at like those pre-cut like MDF, live, laugh, love kind of bullshit they have. And he tried to move out of my way. I'm like, I'm good, man. I just need to come like halfway down the aisle. Oh, and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm talking to my wife, trying to figure out what she wants. I said, us crafty people are a pain in the ass, aren't they? And we started talking. He was talking about like, what do you do? And I was telling him, and I said, unfortunately, my hobby became a business, and I like to use that hobby to relax, but now I have myself against the wall, and I've kind of ruined it. So I'm not selling these cars yet. But I've been spending a lot of time with this. I'm learning how to do it. I always have been challenged with resin printing. Mm-hmm. It is
the ceiling's so high, but the bottom's so low.
It is. There's a lot of new technology. Much like I've said, the bamboo printer that I have. If there were 10,
you should really update to something that's plastic.
Well, bamboo is a sustainable material, and I'm really trying to get back to the earth. That's why I'm melting plastic at 220 degrees Celsius. But yeah, learning how to do stuff, and the frustrations with filament printing. If there was 10 frustrations, I'd say the bamboo between their software and their machine has taken 8 of those away. Right, so it's made it a lot easier. Believe it or not, I'm in some Facebook groups for the bamboo printer. I do believe it. And there's a lot of people. Hey, this is my first printer. It's great. And people are like, well, you didn't have to do Ender 3. I'm like, yeah,
actually.
And they're like, yeah, it's fine. If you can get that to work great, that's fucking great. I never could. Worth a shit. And it seems like every time I want to, like, you had me print out like those consoles for that Batmobile.
Yeah.
That machine just basically said, fuck you. I had to rebuild the whole top end of it. And granted, there's still issues like the bamboo. I've had to change the hot end twice because it's gotten clogged up. Shit just happens, right? I mean, we're using, what's wrong? Why are you giggling? Don't tell me.
The hot end got clogged up.
My hot end got clogged up. Got clogged.
You're coming halfway down the
problem,
aisle.
The problem with the hot end is when it isn't hot, then it clouds. No,
got to keep it hot.
Saying all that, resin printing, they have new printers now that have solved kind of 8 of the 10 problems. They have ones that they heat the vat now, keep it at a steady temperature.
Oh, nice.
It'll mix the film. It'll mix the resin for you. It's you guys understand this technology, like you put the resin in a little vat.
In the reservoir.
So now the reservoir, it has a little lip on it, and it moves along with the plate, so it technically is printing twice as fast.
I love the movement.
Yeah. It's great, isn't it? So I wanted to print the headlights for this in clear resin, and
once you have your resin mastered, I'm going to have you print stuff out for me.
Well, I think you helped me buy a printer like 5 years ago.
Yes, the first one, yeah.
So I printed out, clear's always been really challenging. It just doesn't seem to like behave the same. So I bought some and I put the heater in back there with it, and I printed these headlight lenses and everything. And I'm like, okay, it worked. They're good. They're clean, but they sure shit ain't clear. Then I did some Googling. I'm like, all right, heat it up. It'll pull out some of it, and then just sand the fuck out of it.
I mean,
and I swear these things are fucking beautiful. Like, I need to paint the taillights. I'm like, I kind of just wanted to be like a fucking Honda Civic from '99 with the clear taillights that blinded you. But I was just happy with myself that I was able to make that process actually fucking work for a change.
I think
then I put varnish
polish on it. Yeah, you just put polish on it because usually the cloudiness is like just a rough surface. You put floor wax on it.
Just like if your headlights are fogged up, you put fucking
future floor wax,
or you just sand them and seal them. So
I heard toothpaste works on it too.
It does. Anything with any sort of abrasive.
Is it normal? It's probably a meet. It's normal, right, to like just talk to random strangers in public.
I don't go out of my way to do it.
To me, it's crazy, but like,
I don't think it's normal.
It's not normal.
I actively avoid it.
Okay, me too. But I'm just wondering, in society, is it normal for? Because I feel like I see that.
People
sometimes.
talk to my wife. People talk to my wife like they've known her for years, like just randomly, and she doesn't understand it. Maybe she just doesn't appear threatening.
I think
or something.
It's abnormal. I think that
it's abnormal. Okay, I just want to gauge the room.
A quick exchange is kind of normal.
Like holding the door for somebody. Hey, thanks. How you doing?
I'm talking about like,
even if somebody's holding a movie in their a DVD, let's say in their hand, and somebody walk by and be like, "Oh, great movie! If you haven't seen it." Like, and
that's normal.
Yeah, that's normal. But like, be like, "Hey, what movie is that?"
I'm like, "Who asked you?"
Like, "Hey, man, I'm going to reach in this bin and pull out a movie. Can you tell me? Have you ever seen Sharknado 3?
Give me a quick rundown. Some synopsis.
Can you give me a synopsis?
Remember in True Romance when he has the Time magazine cover and he's about Elvis, and he's like, is that the Time magazine article? And the guy's like, yeah, and goes to turn around. He's like, fucking great article. And he's like, okay. And he's like, no, I'm telling you, I've read 1,000 fucking articles on fucking Elvis, and that is the fucking one. And it's I'll tell you, it goes into his life, it goes into his history, it goes into his fans. Like, look at this one. And then he points to this person. He's like, and then the guy starts to loosen up. He's like, oh yeah. And he's like this is a fan. And she looks like she fell off the ugly tree and hit every fucking branch on the way down. And the guy starts laughing. And then I think sometimes there is this moment that people can have if they can get over the weirdness of it, that I'm not opposed to.
I just don't get over the weirdness of it, I guess. What about you, Cody? Is it normal? Do you ever talk to people, strangers?
No, I've normally got headphones in.
Okay. So that's a barrier.
That's how my wife has made that. Yeah. People stop. She said people will still try to talk to her.
Yeah, people would tap you, and then they would ask you to take it out to talk to you. That's wild.
Like fighting words.
Yeah.
Like if I have headphones in and you tap me, like this better be fucked. Hey, by the way, the building's on fire.
Yeah, right.
I was at when I was a kid. Actually, I can tell you, it was 1996, and
good year.
And I was, it was
That's pretty good.
When my wife and I started dating. But I picked up Antichrist Superstar off of the shelf, and I was looking at it, and this guy, he was an older guy, which may be weird now, but he came up to me and he was like, "Are you a fan?" And I was like, "I don't know enough about him, but I'm interested." And he was like, it's a great fucking record. And I was like, is it? And he was like, look, I'll buy it for you. If you don't like it, just give me your word that you'll give it to somebody else, but I'll buy it for you because I think you'll like it. And I was like, okay. And he like took it to the fucking counter, bought it for me, gave me the bag, and just said enjoy, and like left the fucking building. And that was the last.
That was the Antichrist.
Well, it was weird.
Opposite of Jesus.
He had a jet black suit with a red tie, so that was off-putting. But
was he also actively masturbating?
That is the weirdest street team story I've ever heard in my life. It did have an effect on me.
Yes.
You know,
I can't recall if I discussed this or not, but I finished watching The Skeleton Crew. Did I say that? Okay.
Briefly, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, I bet.
It was.
I'm going to watch it.
I enjoyed the sets, looking at the design.
That's like your exact critique of like the last 4 or 5 Star Wars
I mean,
shows.
I'll be honest with you. That's one of the main reasons I watch it. It's like, oh, that's cool. Oh, I see what that is. And I'm in, believe it or not, some Star Wars groups that it's like Star Wars room builders and stuff.
Is this on Facebook?
Of course.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I still live my life that way.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, look! I found the tote in episode whatever, blah blah blah. It's this thing from IKEA or whatever," which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because they're not scratch building everything,
right? No.
So at this point, when people ask you what your favorite part of a show is, it's not the characters anymore. It's what the set.
I really like
Which
the
was your
design.
favorite set in this series?
Great set.
Or like the robot that's kind of the second lead in this show. It has a rat that lives in his head. It's fucking great. Like, that's the one figure I'm looking for. Of course, I go to Walmart and they've got fucking all the little kids, and that shit's been sitting there for 2 weeks and nobody's touched it.
I bought the wolf guy.
Of course,
because I think he looks close enough to the wolf guy in the cantina.
That's what everybody's been doing. Is getting him like that.
Sad.
It's very.
The last thing is I watched another show on Paramount. It's called Landman. It's Billy Bob Thornton.
They're running out of names of these superheroes.
They have a Blank Man already, so
yeah. And they have Handyman from Living Color.
Oh yes.
So it was Blank Man. Wasn't Blank Man also from? Well, that was
Meteor Man.
Wayne's thing. Yeah. So this is by the guy who does the Yellowstone show. So it's Billy Bob Thornton's the lead, which goddamn, he's a good actor.
Oh yeah, he is.
Although this character is kind of like Billy Bob's kind of been cast as this mean, ornery country guy, right?
Go figure.
Makes sense.
And so it's on brand for sure. So a landman is the guy who manages the land where oil is being drilled.
Sherman fucking Merman is your name?
Oh, is this the one where he's like leasing it out to the military?
There's a scene involving the military. So basically what happens is a cartel has stolen an airplane from this company, and they landed on one of their roads and are offloading drugs, and a competitor oil company's tanker runs over and blows up the plane. Everything goes to shit, and then the cartel's involved, and there's a portion where he's like,
it's insane,
calling the fucking National Guard, have them do goddamn drills at it. Yeah. And that's what happens, and then they end up accidentally killing somebody, and then it gets covered up, and it's fucking great.
Wow. That sounds insane.
So do you guys remember the movie Varsity Blues?
Yeah.
Do you remember the whipped cream bikini? The whipped cream bikini.
Yeah, Ali Larter, bro.
Ali Larter is a milfy piece of work.
She never
right
stopped.
Now. So she's the female lead in this show. Like she's his ex-wife, and they get back together, and there's some aspects of it that kind of drive me nuts. Like, her character is very annoying. Like, she's very needy, but she's getting back with him knowing this is his job, and he's like, I can't tell you when I'm going to be home for dinner. I don't know I'm going to be home at all tonight. That's just how my life is. You want to eat dinner at 7 o'clock? Eat dinner at 7 o'clock. I'll eat dinner when I get home.
Right.
Or I won't eat. It is her interaction is a little bit tiring, but John Hamm's also in it.
Okay. I don't know who any of these people are. I'm not good with names.
But John Hamm was leading Mad Men.
He's the dreamy one.
I never saw it.
I'm trying to think of anything else you've been in. You might have seen Demi Moore. You heard of her?
Oh yeah, Substance. She was in the Substance.
Well, she's in it. Yeah. She's in it too, and all her milfy goodness.
She's like Gilfy.
Yeah. She's. I mean, I wouldn't kick her out of bed.
Do you remember that actress that got stabbed?
What'd you call me?
White boy cracker. I don't know.
The actress that got stabbed, Reese.
Witherspoon?
No, with a knife.
Yes, got him.
I'm pretty sure I've pulled that joke on the show before. But I fell for that.
Amazing.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Andy Garcia. It appears at the end of the series leading into what'll obviously be a second season.
Cuban guy always taking Italian roles, I'll have you know. Nobody gives a shit.
Well, he's playing a Mexican mob boss, so cartel boss. But it's a really good show. I mean, it's very not on a TV show. It's on Paramount, and they didn't pull any punches on the language or the nudity. And I didn't see any back end ball sacks or anything. But Allie Larder shows everything she's got. And
she gets naked?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I have to watch now. I'll Google it.
Yeah. So his kid's in it. Like his kid has wants to basically work in the oil industry and is like 3 months away from getting a geology degree and drops out of school to work on a crew, and then something blows up and all these people get killed except him, and they're like, oh, it's your first day, and is it a coincidence that so it was really good. I'll just say that. I'll look forward to another season of that. A little bit out of the pocket. I told my wife, there's no spaceships, there's nothing extraterrestrial going on here, it's just people doing shit.
Were you interested in the oil rig sig?
It almost
sets.
It almost reminds me of
extraterrestrial.
From story from a little bit, but almost has Breaking Bad kind of vibes, like the storytelling, the pacing of it, and then obviously they're dealing with the fucking cartel and drugs and shit. So it's good stuff.
Yeah,
recommend for me.
I don't really have much. I was gonna say
a good thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You were talking about the guy making the Live, Laugh, Love.
Yes.
So I know two people that I don't know the best way to say this and also protect their anonymity. So I'm just going to say it the best way I can, and if I offend you, know my heart, not my words. But they are of two different ethnic groups, and they are dating. Those ethnic groups are from the continent of Asia. Okay,
Asia land.
But they are two very distinctly different, visibly different, obviously different cultural groups from top to bottom. Okay. They have moved out and moved in together, and their parents are not aware that they have moved in together.
How cliche.
I know them.
Yes. Because they would not be pleased.
Ugh.
Okay. So anyway, I say that to say this. I said I was going to get a sign made, like a Live, Laugh, Love sign made that said Den of Sin for their apartment.
He can do that for you. When do you need it?
So it was funny. The funny thing is the mail was like, oh, just make it the opposite. Just make it, what was it? Die, cry. What is it? Die,
cry, hate?
Yeah, die, cry, hate. It would have been better if I remembered how to do it the opposite. Other than that, I haven't really done much. I got Cody, and Cody and I hung out. Cody put me onto this show that he got put onto by Mason.
Oh, I need to. Yeah, it's on my list, bro. After Dune.
What is it?
So it's a show about Mormons, and it's called My Husband Is Not Gay.
Oh, Mason told you about that?
No, we were watching a YouTube video of it.
Oh,
a guy laughing to it when we was at the other day.
So I watched some clips because you had to pay for it, and I'm not interested. I'm just not interested enough. The clips are doing a good enough job of bringing me up to date on this bad boy.
I'll get you.
And but what's funny is it's basically these Mormon men that are, far be it for me to judge, but seemingly obviously homosexual. And they are married because that's the cultural norm, but they don't really want to be married to these women. They want to be gay and live their gay life, but it's unacceptable in the culture of which they are committed to. So they have come up with a new name. It's the most Mormon thing ever, right? Just like the Mormons are the ones like you can lay together and like somebody jumps on the bed and it's soaking. Mm-hmm. So it's called SSA. They're not gay. They have same-sex attraction.
Oh God!
Incredible.
And it's just it's funny and quirky and all of those things, but it's also very depressing, to watch because you're like, man, just let these fucking dudes live a happy life.
Well, the thing is, hey guys, it's a big world.
Yeah.
Go to literally any other state, and you know you can. That's funny. It's like I've been told before, not that anyone in my company would ever say this, but never say that if you work in any kind of industry, never say that your product was involved in a fire. There was a thermal event.
Yeah.
Thermal. I think that's what they said about the SpaceX rocket that blew up recently. There was an unexpected thermal event.
My my fence got fixed. I say that, brought it up. It's good to go. Okay, good.
Do you got the right signs on it?
It's got
final approval.
Final approval. Good to go.
You got both people's signs on it now?
No, just one. But it's still, to be fair, of course, the dude's second sign that got put up, the sign that he put up, is slightly bigger than my guy's sign. So there's like a visible hole where the screw was. And, it's just like one of those things. Like nothing can be fucking perfect, But anyway, and then I don't really think much else. I don't. Did I say anything about anything recently to you, Cody, about shit I got going on?
Bobby's being pretty low key right now. How's Patreon going? All your new shows?
Yeah, everything is going well.
Tell everybody about what you have going on. I mean, you have a fuck ton of stuff. Like I don't even know.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, over the last couple, I say year and a half, what has mattered to me has been like the body of work. Right, like leaving behind or creating this catalog of work. So like I think it came from the kitchen table. I think the kitchen table is what ended up making me feel this way. But like that's like a legacy I'm going to leave behind of like this documentation of these interesting and people with insane life experiences that people can always kind of go back to as a reference. So Bobby Boogie Bop is right in that same pocket too, because I feel like if anybody's at all slightly remotely interested in music, they can have that same experience. I just had, I was riding around with some guys at work in the mopping van, and the boss, I was driving it, and the boss was sitting to the right, shotgun, if you will. And he was like, we were listening to like 60s and 70s music all day. But then the sun was setting, and I looked over at him, and I was like, hey, the sun's going down. We need a different vibe for the nighttime tonight. I can just feel it. And he was like, well, what about something smooth? And I was like, well, and I told this to these guys yesterday, but I was like, well, you want us to listen to some smooth grooves when the sun goes down in this van together. That's what you want. And the two guys sitting in the back seat start laughing, and I was like, let's come up with something else. So the guy, he was riding shotgun, he was like, a band that I don't know about that I'd like to hear a little bit more of and understand better is Metallica. Do you have any Metallica? And I was like, say less. So I started playing Metallica, right? And if you know me, I only play from Seek and Destroy to the Black Album, and some days I cut out the Black Album, but those are the only albums that I play. And I started playing them. And these guys in the back are hip hop guys. Mm-hmm. They're young guys. That's really the only music they know. Mm-hmm. And I played just from the time that we were there to where we were going, Seek and Destroy, and then For Whom the Bell Tolls. And we got out, we're hanging out or whatever. And these hip hop guys were like, one of them, Gomez, as a matter of fact, he was like, that For Whom the Bell Tolls. That's pretty hard, But it was cool to see like people like get turned on to like not only new music, but like a whole different genre of music. But I kind of feel that way about Bobby Boogie Bop as well. So then, Wine and Cheese is the show I do with my wife, and we talk about like family shit and sex shit and kids and mortgage and anything that it can affect an adult. And then. So I just and then I have Shop Talk, which for those listening, Shop Talk is me and a third-party designer talking about kind of like nitty-gritty Transformer stuff for 2 hours, and it's not necessarily like news related. It'll be like we'll like isolate an incident and like talk about why it worked, and he has a interesting perspective because he'd be like that particular universal joint depth actually changed the way that a lot of people shit like that, which is fun to hear. And then I have I introduced 3 new shows. Well, no, I introduced a ton of new shows, but two new regular shows. One is called Now and Then, which is me and Scott M having a conversation about a toy line and then a conversation about an adult topic. Some of them I have to proofread before I put out because I'm like, oh God, I don't want to stir up a whole bunch of shit with this. And then And then I do a show now with Sony of TM Reviews talking about YouTube stuff, which actually gets pretty tea spilly sometimes, but it's good. And then I have a rotating thing of shows in the midst of there. One of which is like taking people from Patreon and basically like getting their life story, you know, and putting that out. But so it's good. It's good. And I need to kind of like change up what I'm doing from time to time because I start getting like stale, you know, so it's allowed me to do that. And I'm so far in advance, like before I launched it, I recorded a ton of shows with Sony and a ton of shows with Scott that like there's no pressure there. And then
to like to get
and then this third show is just rotating. So it's like I have tons, like it's been working out. So
yeah,
I'm happy with it.
Make sure people know what you got out there, man.
Yeah,
and then you get Nerd Rage. Get it on Monday instead of Thursday.
That's true.
That's the big.
That's true. Big draw, and you get it uncut because sometimes shit gets cut out of it. So that's only on the Patreon also.
This is the longest running show. The one show that hasn't changed. Well, not hasn't changed. There's four versions of it, but like it's this is not your
500 episodes.
We're coming up on 500 this year.
This is your first show, right? I mean, you've been part of SEU and but this is your first show. Yeah.
Yep.
Still here.
Yep, still running. Okay, so...
What have you seen in in 5 years?
Yeah, let's go to notes, and then if I think of anything that I'm missing out of my Nerd Week, I'll just cut back in. Groups. Okay. All right. So last week we had said that we weren't going to talk about politics, and then
immediately talk. Whoops.
Phil made a note and said, "I know you said you don't want to talk about politics, but this is pretty major." And then post something that is the exact type of shit I don't want to talk about.
Awesome.
At least not on this show.
Fair enough.
So I'm just going to be getting rid of that. Let's see. Other than that, there was a Lost Lands trailer. Is this a... I think this is trash. Okay, there's we already talked about TikTok, so that's covered. And then The Brutalist sparks backlash after editing reveal use of AI and dialogue in buildings, but it says, this is from Variety, but it says nothing that hasn't been done before.
Yeah, I don't care.
So I
don't care.
Do you know the story here?
I read that headline and said I don't care, and because I don't. Apparently they use AI for some of their dialogue. I don't know if they manipulated some words. Maybe it was a situation where like, dude can't get back here to record any lines. Hey, is it cool? We basically bought your likeness for this. We're gonna just change some. And AI for background. What the fuck? Who cares? I mean,
also like I know people
unless they presented it as something else.
Yeah.
But with this coming out,
it's a extremely sensitive topic.
I understand why, and not that it shouldn't be, but in my mind, it's just going to be the norm. You can't. I understand you wanting to fight it, and like regardless of how you feel about it, like it's gonna come.
I'm gonna come.
But like
AI,
because like we've talked about it here and kind of at least come to terms with where we all feel about it.
Yeah.
But like the amount that people are so sensitive about it,
scared.
It's maybe it's alarming. It makes me scared.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I use AI every day with my job.
Everybody
like,
whether you know it or not.
And here's the deal: like, if say my company says we're not going to use AI, guess what? Everybody else is. You might as well get with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you want me to read this 17-page document and glean bullet points? I can have a robot do that for me, and then I just proofread it and make sure it makes sense.
I mean, to me, it's not much different than like refusing to have data entry computers and wanting to write everything out. It's like it's just a next step.
It's just like cursive.
Well, like it or not, it's the next step.
So I did a Dummies episode recently, and so when we do Dummies, every episode that you see is an hour long. Mm-hmm. That's also on Patreon. Mm-hmm. Every episode that you see is an hour long, and the first half of it is us just like bullshitting. Yep. And it's usually funny as shit. There's one in particular episode, R.I.P. to S'mores. This one particular episode is funny as fuck. But in that episode, Robert had discovered ChatGPT. And if you know Robert, then you know he's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
So the moment that he discovers ChatGPT, he starts putting me in compromising positions.
Not only you.
So he started like any conversation that we were having. We had a conversation because that shit was going on with the dude who killed the CEO of that fucking insurance company. Mm-hmm. we were having a conversation about that, and then he did a whole.
What's funny is what he did was like Mid-Journey shit from 2 years ago, but yeah, sure, whatever.
He put a picture of me getting denied an insurance claim.
He sent these to me too.
He put a picture of me getting denied an insurance claim and then being frustrated about it in ChatGPT as like a funny picture. He's not trying to make art. He's not trying to sell prints. He's not trying to get on the cover of fucking, Artist Digest.
That's what you think.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't put it past him, I suppose. But he's just breaking my balls, right? So at the end of the show, we have a random section. If you've ever seen a Dummies episode, we have a random section where Robert and Jisk and Laura mention completely random things, and I have to provide pictures of them for people to see. Mm-hmm. So often they are not as random as they seem. Mm-hmm. Often they're directly related to the first half-hour conversation, and in that first half-hour conversation, they talked about me getting denied an insurance claim. So one of the randoms was Bobby Skullface getting denied an insurance claim. And I just used the AI picture because I thought people would get a kick out of seeing the kind of behind-the-scenes stuff that he was sending. And I got comments on there like bashing me for using AI like I had like violated some code of conduct. And it's like, okay, so you're okay with me going to Google and just saving a random picture that somebody
not credit it, yeah.
Not credit them, that somebody else fucking took you know what I mean? It's like sometimes the shit doesn't make sense. Like the rage has to make sense for me, and I understand some of the rage, but I don't understand all of the rage. I think just like everything else, there's a balance to be struck. Mm-hmm. But what the fuck do you want me to do?
Draw it.
Call a fucking insurance company, put in a claim for some bullshit, have them deny me, and then have my wife take a picture of that exact moment so that I can not use AI for this 1 second of fucking footage for this fucking video?
Yes, we do.
If you was really an artist, yes.
a real artist.
It's fair. So stuff like that. So it ties back to another conversation at Nerd Week. So I've been doing more of these like comic book breakdown videos recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes.
I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with them publicly because the first one did like 4,000 views, which was worth the time, and then the second one did like 1,000 views. So I'm like, well, we'll see. If this doesn't break 1,000 views, like I'll just keep it on Patreon. Mm-hmm. But it's required me to go back and read these books and whatever, which I've been enjoying. But like the amount of like you guys know me, I'm the first one to make a joke about like them having to change the race of a character or the sexual identity of a character in order to appease some sort of quota. And I don't think they're doing it. I think a lot of people are saying like, I think a lot of people's stance on that, like especially like the YouTube rager, right, is like, oh, because they're all woke and they're pushing their woke agendas. And I don't honestly think that's the case. I honestly think that they're just trying to get as much money as possible, and they want a little bit of that gay money. They want a little bit of that Asian money. They want a little bit of that
same-side attraction money.
They want a little bit of that same-side attraction money. They want a little bit of that trans money. They want all the monies from all the different people. That's my point. Maybe I'm cynical. I
think that's true.
That's my point of view. And I'm the first one to call out a situation where I'm like, look, they're changing some shit here just for the sake of changing it. You know, I'm the first person to call it out. But like some of these people in my comments that are just like IDW pushing their gay robot agenda, like I'm just like, dude.
First off, this is 10 years old.
Yes, but they don't care. They're not going to let it go.
And they're robots.
They're robots.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, up until IDW, there's been like 3 females. There's a lot of dudes. You want all these dudes to just not have anybody to love? You know, for one, if you really care about these characters, give them a fucking break. And for 2, I think that in their heads, like they're talking about Rewind and Chrome Dome's relationship, right? And when they
Chrome Dome,
Chrome Dome is a big one.
I do declare.
Hey, yo.
But I think that like in their mind, they're just like they're like singing YMCA. They're like, you know, they're listening to Freddie Mercury. Like they're only doing it's just the gayest gay event in the history of gay things. But it's not that. It's not that at all. They approach it very much like these. You can even make.
They don't even have penises.
Yeah, well, exactly like you
interface.
These 2 characters love each other.
Yes,
but like, it's one of those things where like if you want to see it as a gay thing, you can. Yeah. If you want to see it as like a brotherhood thing, you can.
Yeah.
You know, like or like a brotherhood, not in the sense of like biological, but like just
I understand.
You know, like
So the person asking the question is like, why do you see it that way? Why do you see it?
You don't kiss your homies goodnight?
So I think the last thing that I did was I said to one, I was like, look, I'm going to be covering these books. And a lot of that shit has been over dramatized for the sake of rage clicking. I'm going to be covering all of that in detail. I hope you join me as we break it down. You know, but anyway, it's just frustrating.
So the Cyclonus and pipes have a thing too.
Hey yo, I don't
pipes.
Not that they definitely have a
pipes is a small one.
No, it's tailgate. Tailgate and Cyclonus. I don't have Cyclonus.
Tailgate.
Tailgate pipes and chrome dome and tailgate
and there's Huffer.
Yes, there's Huffer.
Half his face,
jerking
half his
mechanical
face
dicks
is
all over
silver.
the place.
Huffer just has gold paint around his mouth. Yeah.
The Nightman cometh.
So let's go ahead and get into questions. So
so how would somebody?
Perfect.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
Andrew M. writes in, and he says, "What's up, wizards? Wanted to write this in earlier in the new year, especially regarding Nosferatu. Bobby,
Happy New Year.
Happy
New Year.
You motherfuckers. Bobby, I agree with a lot of your points, surprisingly, and really just didn't walk away super mystified by it, even though I love Robert Eggers' other films. I was surprised by how much Nosferatu altered appearance in this version. It took me out of it, especially that mustache. I'm telling you. I also love the long silhouetted shots of Count Orlok in the original 22 movie, and I just felt like I didn't see enough of that in this version to have the character truly make an impression on me visually. Yeah. I also happened to sit in a section of the theater with one other older couple directly in front of me, so there was only the four of us alone for at least 3 rows. I chose my seats like this to hopefully avoid distractive audience members nearby, but unfortunately, I found the exact worst couple to be near. This lady, who was probably in her 50s, talked through the entire movie, voicing her dislikes loudly and texting so constantly with her bright screen flashing into my eyes behind her that I had to tell her to put her fucking phone away only after we moved across the row. And by that point, I was completely taken out of the movie. Yeah. It sucks.
That's like not getting in a fight during an Apes movie.
Yeah, I have a tendency to do that. She later tried to cause an issue with me and my date in the lobby and told me to go kick rocks, which we both thought was hysterical. So all this being said, I may just need to see it again to get a more informed opinion, because I'm sure that ruined my experience probably. I do agree with most, and a lot of the narrative seems to revolve around a stalker, abusive lover trope that, while interesting, the rest just didn't sell me enough. To throw y'all a question, what is your favorite or most iconic childhood snack? Apples and peanut butter is probably top list for me. Also, Bobby, you mentioned wanting to know what song that was playing at the frat house of Higher Learning a few weeks back. It's not a cover of Helter Skelter. It is Shake by Final Cut, Higher Learning mix, Mystery Solved. And yes, shout out to Brian Brink. He sent me that, but thank you, Andrew M. So, favorite childhood snack? Nuts, buddy, nuts and bolts. It's like French fries with turnips.
What about you? Cody, what do you have? Anything that comes to mind? Just a hamburger with bread. My favorite childhood snack.
I don't know. I was hoping you weren't going to ask me first.
So a snack isn't something you grab out of the pantry, or like something you make? Because
I think it can be either.
I like pretz.
What's that?
It's like cracker sticks. It's a Japanese thing.
What'd you call me?
They're you know Pocky?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like that, but it's like
pretzels,
savory.
No, it's not.
It's crackers.
Nothing really comes to mind for me. I mean,
or just Ritz. I'll eat a whole fucking roll of Ritz any day.
I like club crackers a lot.
Yes, they're butter cracker.
They're butter.
Yeah. Specific.
I guess peanut butter and crackers, if we're going along that line.
Yeah, me too.
Something easy to grab.
I was a big Ritz, and if they had them, like I loved her. And what's funny is they're a crumbly cracker now.
It really is.
I don't always remember them being so crumbly.
They were. There's so much butter in it. They're short.
Weaker hands.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
It's just salty butter in a crunchy form.
It's a good cracker.
I used to
not like a Wheat Thin, which is more like me, which is a dependable cracker.
or a Triscuit.
A Triscuit's a dry ass cracker.
Yeah. A hearty.
A Triscuit, you gotta dip in something like some water.
He's Japanesing his. He holds the world record for Triscuit eating by Japanesing him.
I used to BMX as a kid.
Nice.
It was fun.
The bicycle?
And because I didn't have much money, because we were just kids, you get like your pocket money or whatever. Is that what you call it here?
Yeah.
Allowance, maybe?
Allowance, I guess.
So we used to go, there was like this cheap store that was like, like a really shit Walmart or something. Like it's called Necco.
A shit Walmart?
Yeah, well, like, yeah, exactly. He's like super discount. And
I think that's just called Walmart.
Yeah. But he used to have a logo. It was yellow with a dog holding a basket in its mouth.
I like him.
But me and my friends used to go in there and buy a pot of like chocolate spread or whatever you call it, Nutella, I guess, but like the cheap one. It was a swirl.
Tell us fancy.
It was white and milk chocolate swirl. And then we used to buy a pack of cookies. But do you remember I bought them little ones before, the Maryland cookie, like Chips Ahoy? Like, but over in the UK they're a little bit smaller. So you could fit them inside the lid, and we used to dip them in and then eat that. And that was probably my favourite snack when BMXing.
Nice.
When I was in high school, one of my go-tos was Doritos with like nacho cheese. Like a nacho cheese dip, like you would get at the movie theater.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, where you get nacho cheese from?
You were stealing the cheese?
yeah, nacho cheese. What do you care about it? When Joe cheese.
dry ramen. We like dry ramen. Like when you take the open packet of the flavoring powder, and dump it into the bag, and then you like crush it up, and then you eat it.
It's interesting. I've seen somebody just take a bite out of a. I was working at an auto parts store one time, and I had this kid that worked for me that was, like, listen, next time you come in, you're fired kind of kid. Because he'd show up, like, 4 hours late every day. And one day he was standing there, he was eating some ramen, like just a dry thing of ramen. I said, did you look at that? Because there's a big hole in the bottom, and somebody else, probably a rat, has taken a bite out of it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
I'm
going to finish that.
When you moved to America, did you pack the suitcase full of just cracker sticks and ramen?
We didn't have much coming here. I don't remember what we got.
How did you find these cracker sticks?
You can get them now. They're normal.
No, now, not then. Where would you have to go to get this?
I didn't get them when I came back here. Not for a while.
Oh, you just had them in Hong Kong.
Yeah, we're talking about childhood.
Gotcha.
But I did have ramen when I came here. But like, Top Ramen sucks. Like, because ramen has a kind of a bad reputation of cheap food.
Yeah.
Here. Like, they are a cheap food in Asia land, but like it's very normal.
Yeah,
they're not seen as a bad thing. A lot of people eat them because they're good.
Yeah.
Unlike Top Ramen.
Yeah. Any snacks for you, Farrell?
None that come to mind.
What kind of snacks do they have at the bar?
Pretzels?
Peanuts and pretzels.
Did they put little baskets out?
That's wild to me that was ever a thing.
Yeah, it is wild.
What is it?
Like a bowl
Dirty
of
ass
something.
hands
Oh,
going
yeah,
in
yeah.
and sharing fucking pretzels.
Yeah.
Like,
Chex Mix or whatever. Yeah.
What's your favorite bar food?
pizza.
Yeah.
Is pizza bar food?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times. It's a very much like a bar
pizza.
type pizza, though. Like, it's
Okay.
not, you know.
I was gonna say I would think like wings or nachos or
wings is a
something
go-to.
fried,
Wings
something
is good.
fried.
Tenders.
Tenders.
Yeah, but I would say pizza. I mean, pizza's like my favorite food
Same.
all the time.
Pizza's good. I don't think of pizza when I think of bars.
Yeah, I think wings is probably my go-to, but
just fat fries.
I'm usually scared to take a chance on bar pizza.
Really? Oh, because you're...
Now-
I mean, you're a super
Now, if somebody else...
taster.
Yeah, well, I can't.
Yeah, I'm a super recognizer. You're a super taster.
We all have gifts.
Yeah.
I put it on my application as well. But like, if somebody else gets it, I'm definitely going to try it before I order my food. Because if I like it, then I'm getting the pizza.
Of course.
So Andrew M. wrote in again, and he said, crushes. Hey again, am I right? And I also forgot to mention that on my birthday in November, I ordered an orange crush down here in South Carolina due to Bobby and seemingly Baltimore's love for them. And let's make some noise for that. And I've been singing its praises and crushing ever since. Thanks to the lot of you in enabling my alcohol consumption. Made a bunch of them for a Christmas party, and everyone loved them. Do you have a specific recipe you go with? What seems to work for me: 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of triple sec, a whole orange, and finish off with Sprite. But y'all do something else. I mean, that's pretty much it. I might go a little stiffer, so to speak, on the on the vodka.
He does.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Okay, Todd R. writes in, hello, crew. Oh, bubby, he says. So are we to assume Coke equals white and Pepsi equals black? What did that must have come from something we said?
So I think we had mentioned that it seems that our black friends seem to like Pepsi more so than Coke.
I don't know if I've ever necessarily noticed that.
Yeah.
My nerd friends like Mountain Dew.
You're right. You're right about that.
But I do prefer Coke over Pepsi.
I do too.
I do too.
Pepsi tastes like it's got bugs in it.
I use that. I use that all the time.
Because it
Well, you
does.
assumed Coke with white just because of the other Coke.
Yes, maybe. I also like, but I do like Diet Pepsi over Diet Coke.
Coke Zero is the way to go.
But Coke Zero is better than Diet Pepsi.
Yeah, there's definitely Coke Zero and Diet Coke. For whatever the fuck reason, Coke Zero is really good.
I hate Diet Coke.
I mean, I'm considered white adjacent, right? So it makes sense.
It depends on the month.
I'm never considered black adjacent.
No, but sometimes it's just strong Asian. Sometimes.
Yes, but
like when they mistakenly think that a whole bunch were shot in Atlanta, and then you go through this little phase. Not you, but the general you. He said, "What other races are pops or colas?" Crew, feel free to chime in.
Orange,
love you guys.
Grape, purple.
Oh, come on now.
What? Asian people love orange drinks.
Oh, but in
Fanta.
I think I associate.
Are juggalos a race?
It's a race and a religion.
Kind of. I think I associate Coca-Cola with Hispanic because of like the Mexican Coke, so to speak. Which are delicious, by the way.
Mm-hmm. They are.
So this isn't a race, but I associate RC Cola with poor white people.
I can see that.
What if there's a moon pie too?
Yeah.
You ever had a moon pie?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I don't know.
The more south you go, the more.
I thought y'all just eat crabs here.
And then Chris T writes in, who we talked about his YouTube channel last week. He said, "Thank you for indulging me and reading my email and stuff. And of course, the shout out is very much appreciated. Just a quick background. I started out my channel covering, get your own fucking podcast, bro. Okay. Started out my channel covering equally all my favorite toy properties, assuming that me being a toy channel was niche enough, but apparently I was wrong. And once it was apparent that my multi-prong approach wasn't working, it has since evolved into mostly exclusively a Transformer Joe channel." Yeah, welcome to the fucking club, buddy. Anyway, here we are, one of each again, and again, no rush. Please watch at your own convenience. And he sent one for the story of Alpine and Bazooka, which I suggest anybody give a shot if they want to watch. And I will try to watch it as well. Paul C. writes in and says, "Happy New Year, NRR. Jon Stewart called Eddie Murphy a Mozart, a prodigy across all media. Who would you say are other prodigies in this world?"
I mean, smack my bitch up.
Yeah.
RP.
Fire starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coolest bald man haircut ever. Rock the Dwayne Johnson would fit that category.
Jesus.
Jim Carrey.
Vehicle identification number diesel.
I think you're right about Jim Carrey. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Eddie Murphy did put out a hit record, and I've
party all the time.
Bobby perform it live.
It's fantastic. But that song he did with Michael Jackson is trash. That was up with you. Awful. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Eddie Murphy's
cover either.
Eddie Murphy's great. I mean, he's a stand-up comedian, great actor, could do serious stuff in acting. Made a good record, a good song. I don't know. Cameron of Dipset.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah. He's a great actor and a great and had great records.
Jared Leto.
I mean, honestly, that kind of plays in the same pocket because
I agree, but I know it would trigger Joey. So
he has, hit songs and all that chit chat's gonna get you.
I'll fucking kill myself.
Yeah,
I fucking love that Joker.
I think I like when I zero in on like talent and shit. I think I have a harder time thinking about people that like cross over into other stuff, and I usually think about people that are just like super iconic and amazing at their one thing they do.
What about the guy you did a show on recently?
Which one?
Ice Cube.
Yeah, I mean, he's a decent actor. He's a good writer. He's a good Ice Cube. Really, at the end of the day, I think he can rap, no doubt about it. But he's really a good storyteller. Mm-hmm. Like that's what it comes down to with him. Like the majority, even if Today's a Good Day is a story. The majority of his records are stories.
They're narratives.
Yeah, and then he wrote movies, and like his acting is fine. It's not like whatever.
It's not as good as Ice-T.
As an actor, I don't know.
Ice-T's more prolific with his acting. I think.
He's more prolific, but it's definitely a quantity situation.
The parallel of Ice-T's career is gangster rapper. Mm-hmm. Metal singer with a song who in his time got canceled because he literally cop killer, and now he's been playing a fucking cop on TV for 20 years.
Yeah,
like that's fucking great.
Yeah,
and poorly.
Hey, you know what you're getting, right?
Favorite Ice-T song?
Cop Killer.
Really?
No, I don't know. I honestly don't know Ice-T's catalog that well.
I think mine's New Jack Hustler.
I always thought it was kind of lame, to be honest. But by the time I was listening to that music, I was listening to NWA.
Yeah.
So comparatively, it was kind of dated and lame, and I didn't think he was. I just don't think he's a very good rapper.
I liked New Jack Hustler a lot. I didn't like some of that stuff was a little early for me, like 6 a.m. and all.
Well,
that.
I mean, that's been
that kind of stuff was a little
done
early
several times
for me, but like I love New Jack Hustler.
Was Diddy in films? Was he in that? No, without getting to the Greek.
He's a different type of prodigy.
He was in Get to the Greek, which means something different.
He's a pleasure prodigy.
I'm sure there's a couple films starring Diddy.
Yeah, apparently we might see some
hotel
of them
footage.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
So shout out to Phil on the notes and on Twitter, and shout out to Dante on Facebook, and shout out to me holding down Instagram the best I can, trying to post something at least once a day. And with that, Flappy Labius.
Swinging sax.
Voice thighs.
Tasty taint.
Tight dick player.